Bren Chong Cup is back with an incomparable prize pool of $40,000 and open to everyone. The competition will be divided into 4 regions: North America, Asia, Latin America and Europe, and also in 4 stages. The second will be the regional group stage. Starting on January 9, the 16 players from each region coming from the qualifiers will advance to the group stage, where they will test their potential against 16 players from the Clash Royale elite. These 32 players from each region will be divided into 4 groups of 8, and in a round-robin format, they will fight to advance to Phase 3. The regional finals will take place from January 28 to 31 and will feature the 16 best classified from each continent. A single elimination bracket will determine the 3 representatives of each region. We will have a world final of the Bren Chong Cup for the first time, where it will be decided who is the best player on the planet. We will have live streamings in many languages: English, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, German. In short, that all of you will be able to follow the action. To follow all what happens in the competition, keep an eye on the Revel Imar social networks and the Appgrade application. Thank Bren Chong for sponsoring this competition and making this event possible. Bren Chong Cup 2. Get ready for the show.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, because yes, here we are. We are ready for the show. I believe that I unmute my mic. Yes, I did. Hello, welcome everybody to the Bren Chong Cup 2, the final day of the European Regional Group Stage. I'm Rich Slaton, caster for Clash Royale League. I still have Chinese food in my mouth because I was trying to get my lunch down real quick before we got started. Are you late for the stream? Absolutely not. I'm excited to have all you guys here for this action today. Watching, well, Cornelius, I don't need to hear anyone's opinion outside of here. If you're right here, you're here and you're ready for Group D, the final day, the last part of Group D as we go towards the regional championship. We'll have some graphics for you here just a moment from now, but for your Group D lineup, we have some bangers today, and I'm really excited. Again, the format for this is really fun because it has a mixture. Half of the format in this group stage is top-tier pros. Half of them are players who qualified from open qualifiers. So whoever you are out there, whether you're watching right now for the first time, whether you've been here a ton of times, this year there are so many opportunities for you to be a part of competitive Clash Royale. Events like this that are open to the public, that have open qualifiers, and of course, link there in the chat right now, CRL 2021, open to everybody as well. You could be a part of CRL 2021. So whether it's a competition like this, $40,000 on the line, or whether it's Clash Royale League with $1.6 million available, you have a lot of chances right now, a lot of chances this year to prove your mettle, to prove your skill, and to earn a lot of money playing Clash Royale if you're good enough for it. Let's see. Today is JP Day, says Anna Luisa, and welcome to the regulars here. I see Sam in here, Mance Raider, Cornelius, Lil Nimbus, Omotayo, James Lopez. A lot of people who are regulars here in the chat. Excited to see you. Of course, this is going to be a big day, the final day. The last 4 qualifiers out of the European region do get decided today. So we should see the actual lineup for the day, the full list of players here in just a moment. Here we go. Our full list of players for today's EU last day of the group stage. iAmJP and Belikin, 2 of the leaders in the group. Right behind them, Hotvicatorze and Buffmac, the other 2 invited pros to round out what is a very difficult 4 pros invited. On the other side of it, 3 German players all making it through the open qualifier in Matthew, Runbar, and Omer. And then Hugo as the lone Frenchman in this group. And he might be, I had to look at that again. Is he the only Frenchman still in the tournament at this moment? Got to check that one out in a little bit later. Today's matches, again, we are doing the second half of Group D action. This is a full round robin format, so all 8 players play the other 7 in their group. And here is our second half of that action. So we will decide the top 4 in this group. And currently the standings are very tight in this group. They're very close. No one is qualified yet, and no one's eliminated yet in this Group D. And of course, you can follow along with all those standings, link in the chat right now, on Appgrade, and that goes to both iOS and to Android. That link's in the chat right now. Go ahead and check that one out, and you can follow along with results, with schedules, everything, with the tables as well for this event from top to bottom. Let's see, taking a look at the chat here for a moment. Mance Raider saying, I think EU is my favorite region, probably because of Morton and Ruben, but a stacked region. Stacked region, absolutely. I'm excited for NA starting tomorrow right here. 1 hour earlier will be NA. So if you've been in the rhythm of getting here at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, tomorrow we start 1 hour earlier, and that's the way it's going to be for all of the North American region. What did you have from Chinese food? I'm actually still going to be surreptitiously taking some bites, but it's a mixture of like our full Chinese food order. Actually, it's the leftovers of all the different things that we ordered, all thrown into one big bowl. So I'm not even sure what's in here, actually, at this moment, but I'm pretty excited for it. Where is Rich from? I am originally from California. Now I live in Texas, so there you go. And but yeah, now I'm living in Austin, Texas, enjoying myself tremendously. Can't wait for NA, says Sam. Yeah, NA is going to be really, really good, but of course, this group is really amazing. What's your favorite card, Rich? The Ice Golem. A Surgical Goblin's tournament. No, he's retired from Clash Royale. But you can probably find him playing some Fortnite somewhere. I know he's doing a whole lot of building and stuff. Hello from India. Hello to India. I always order orange chicken and noodles. It's the best. I believe that there's some orange chicken in that bowl of mischief and mayhem. We'll see what's happening. Kurt Neiman. Rich, the wrestling team I coach, went from last in the conference last year to 4th, 8th this year. Can I get a shout out for Pirate Wrestling? Hey, great job, Pirate Wrestling. Just make sure you always lock that whizzer in nice and tight and get back to your feet when you can, and don't give up your back. That's some jiu-jitsu stuff. I guess you can give up your back some more in wrestling. You know what? Don't even listen to me. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Stay off your back. There you go. That's some jiu-jitsu stuff. Stay off your back. Stay on your feet, and try to go for those takedowns the best that you can. High single leg, right? Get the high crotch single. There you go. Nice work. Shout out there, Pirate Wrestling. Surgical Goblin retired. Yes. Where are you from, Rich? As I said before, Dr. Disrespect, who's not Dr. Disrespect. I'm from California, and I live in Texas. Again, here you look over on the right-hand side of your screen, and this is the AppGrade app. This is where you can follow along. Again, there's the link in the chat for AppGrade. You can follow along with results, with schedules. You can cast your vote for who you think will win in upcoming matches. All that available right there. What is your least favorite card? My least favorite card, probably the Battle Healer. I don't think I don't think she belongs in the game. That's my opinion. That or the Barbut. Barbut, actually, I think I would get rid of before Battle Healer. Sagnik, I'm just only streaming on YouTube exclusively for this event, especially because it's from stability issues, so I don't have to go through a restreaming type service. Let's see. I speak real fast. Yeah, often I do. I speak clearly, though. Solid diction despite my quick speech. So you can hang on with me, John. I believe you can stay in here. Some jiu-jitsu practitioners are lethal on their back from full guard. Absolutely, Mance Raider, but in wrestling, you don't want to be on your back. So jiu-jitsu, get on that back. In wrestling, keep your shoulders off the mat. You know what I mean? That's some jiu-jitsu stuff. That's not wrestling. In wrestling, face down, back up. There we go. Let's see. You're in Ukraine. Awesome. Any Indians in this tourney? Yes, Lalit, but they are not in this region. They are playing in the Asian region, 8-Bit Smoke, who I don't know if he was able to qualify for the next stage or not. Lots of Brazilians here as well. Hey to all the Brazilians. The LATAM region, which Brazil will be participating in, starts tomorrow, and that starts on Cashman's channel. You can get the replays of both the Asia and Latin American regions right here on this channel, courtesy of Cashman. To watch them live, take that link in the chat to twitch.tv/Cashman, and he's the one streaming all of those regions live as we go through this event. Yeah, Lil Nimbus making a good point about wrestling. Don't want to be on your back in wrestling. Terrible, terrible idea. iAmJP and Runbar will be at some point. I guess we're going through the entire schedule here now, all the way down to the final round. Yeah, so again, just to put it in context, these are all best of 3 matches. They are ban on first loss, meaning no ban in game number 1. The loser of game 1 has the option to do a global ban in game 2, meaning neither player can play that card for the remainder of that match. And if we go to a game 3, then both players have an option for that ban. Omid saying, hey, Rich, you know if Mohammed Parsa is Iranian? I don't know. I have no idea. Wish you would stream Latin America. Yeah, just Latin America, the time of day. I was going to choose only one, Latin America or NA, and NA is a better time of day. I wish you had 1 million subs. Me too. Well, let's get to work on that right here in the chat. Subscribe to this channel right now if you haven't yet. Go ahead and jump on. This is the home for the Bren Chong Cup 2. This is where we'll be streaming both NA and EU, And then, of course, replays for LATAM and Asia. And then also once we get into the regional finals and the world finals for this event, all right here on youtube.com/Rich Slaton. Wait, is it over? No. Delilah, we haven't even begun yet. So there you go. When does it start, says Boss. First game should be starting here momentarily. I'm not on their side. But first game, I'm not in the production booth, but first game should be starting fairly soon. Let's see, Boss. I don't know if that's the Boss or a different Boss, but hello, Boss, either way. Oh, 8-Bit lost all 7 games. Oof. Rough one for him. Well, hopefully for him, he does better in CRL. Which, again, reminder, if you want to be in CRL this year, you can. There's a link in the chat, all your info right there. Go to esports.clashroyale.com, and you can get all your info for CRL 2021. $1.6 million on the line. This isn't CRL, but it's a nice warm-up to get you ready for that. Crucifer, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Sami, why are you not streaming on Twitch? Because I'm streaming this on YouTube. I was streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, but I was going through a restreaming service, and that service was being a little unreliable. And so for stability's sake, decided to keep it just on YouTube. So there you go. Are you a full-time YouTuber? YouTube is one of my parts of my income. It's the lowest part of my income. Commentating Clash Royale, being a producer, and a couple other things. But yeah, the casting and producing are my 2 primary sources of income, and then YouTube is a source of income, but not my main yet. Maybe one day. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings at the moment. And as I said before, it's actually still this is the closest we've gone into day 2 from any single group. No one's undefeated, and no one is without a win either. The lowest rated player right now is 1 and 2, and that's 4 of our players. Half of our players are at 1 and 2. So no one's even really on the bubble yet, facing that 4th loss. And then on the top end of it, JP, Javi, both with 3 wins, 3 and 1. No one's really come out to the top of that side either. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But a lot of Clash Royale to be played, and a lot of things could happen very, very quickly throughout this match. But for now, it's all razor thin, and I'm expecting this to be fairly razor thin. I'm just here for Rich and Buffmac, says Crucifer. Well, you'll get Buffmac here very soon. I believe he's in our first match of the day. Does pineapple go on pizza? Not mine, but do you there, Joseph. You can't come tomorrow because of school. John, well, you can watch the replay. So there you go. It'll be right here for you. Once someone donated 50 euros. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed it myself. I feel like my framing changed. I think my framing's good. I think my framing's good. I'm nice and dialed in. We should be getting into our first match here in just a moment. Our first match of the day is going to be SaintBelikin and Buffmac, so I'm really pumped for that one. 2 longtime pros. I don't remember if they actually played each other at all during the regular season. Let me go ahead and check on that, because Buff didn't play a whole lot of head-to-head. Definitely didn't play any 1v1 sets as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I didn't play any 1v1 sets. I didn't play... he played some in the in King of the Hill. Let's see. They did play 1 game this season in King of the Hill, and it was Belikin who won. So in the CRL season, only 1 game between the 2. Belly's on top. So I guess so far in 2020... I guess we're in 2021 now, so it's over. And and you can see Belly immediately kind of getting frustrated there as Buffmac opens up Lava Hound. Belly's known for playing a lot of lava, a ton of lava, in fact. And I asked him about the Lava Hound play and why he plays so much, and he says it's because it has so many good matchups and doesn't get really hard counters as often as some decks like Minor Wall Breakers, for example. So that's why he loves Lava Hound, and of course, you can understand, oh my gosh, Buffmac is just trolling here. Buffmac, not only is Belly known as a Lava Hound player, he's also known as a clone player, and Buffmac going Lava Clone to open up this day. What a fun troll out of the countrymen. Remember, these guys are both playing out of England. And Belly just completely has to shake his head here. What an unbelievable troll by Buffmac, and I gotta say, gotta love it. And Lava Hound goes to the left-hand lane. Buffmac with minor bats. Not going to get a whole lot out of that because of the baby dragon. Does have good damage in both lanes, but still absolutely brutal here. Absolutely brutal. Knight tries to set the line high. That bomb tower, I don't know if it'll go down fast enough to be relevant. How long do these... Oh, actually, they held on fairly long. Bats do come out. Belly's holding on nicely, given the circumstances. The question is, does he have any real shot of doing significant damage enough to get a tower down without giving that left-hand tower? Interesting here that Belly said he's in the primary, that he likes Lava Hound because it doesn't get hard counter very often, like minor wall breakers specifically, and then what does he go with? Minor wall breakers. So just as a point this out, actually, this is interesting. This is 2 days in a row where Belly has kind of answered a question of mine one way and then done the exact opposite thing on stream later that same day. Very interesting. Maybe Belly's trolling me a little bit. Wall breakers will get picked up. Oh, one. Can it connect? No, the flying machine holds on. 30 seconds left. Those towers feel like they're in range, but that's so close but so far. You know what I mean? Miner goes to the left-hand side with the bats, and the wall breakers all behind. This is smart, the dual lane pressure here, and look at that. Can Belly connect? Fireball will be enough on the left-hand side. So that tower does go down, and Belly does have the lead here on the right-hand side. What a play. What a bit of play here by SaintBelikin. He might be able to pull this one out here. It's not going to be easy, but he really might be able to. Remember, he has Fireball and Log and Miner, and Buffmac has no real way of creating significant tower damage without getting on tower. A good pre-log there, trying to go for Skarmy if it does come out. Wall breakers do not connect. 335 remains. Good fireball there. That's the right fireball against the flying machine. Miner goes to the front with a bat behind, and he keeps the bat alive. GG. What a game played by Belly. Look at the facial expressions out of SaintBelikin. What an unbelievable play by him. That really felt like he was all the way dead. The dual lane pressure there in the latter half of that game, really just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That's one of the better games I think I've seen Belly play. So nice. Hats off to him. Big applause there for Belly in this one. Yeah, that deserves an absolute wow. Full-on Rich Slaton style wow for that one, because that was just a brilliant performance out of Belly. And like I said, I'll say it one more time. I do think that's one of the better games I've seen, like in my memory, that I can think of SaintBelikin playing. Just great. Just absolutely great. Let's see. In Russia, we count that rainbow cards are Verms and Mega Knight. I don't know what that means, but okay. Calculated, says Mance Raider. Yeah, comeback of the group. That's probably the best comeback we've seen. Now, the question is, can Belly do it again here? Looking at both of these two players right now, remember, there's no one who's currently all the way out yet. There's no one yet who's even hit 3 losses, much less 4 losses, right? So that's an important thing to keep an eye on as we're going into this one, that the loser here, I believe, will fall to 3 total losses. Let me double check that one more time as I jump on Appgrade. I'm jumping on Appgrade myself, actually, guys. There's the link in the chat for those of you who want to follow along yourselves. I'm going to jump on Appgrade and then take a look at our group to see what's going on. Let's see. Rishba says, what about changing your hairstyle? Like what, getting a haircut? Well, you know, not really going out and getting haircuts right now. I don't know if you know what's going on in the world, but not really a good time to go out and, like, have someone touch your head and face a whole lot. Like a stranger. You know what I mean? So, yeah, not getting a whole lot of haircuts at the moment. Buffmac is currently 1-2, and Belly is 1-2. So this is interesting. The loser here will fall to 1-3 and be sort of on the bubble there. Big question, Rich. Which one do you prefer, Clash Royale or Brawl Stars? Easy. Clash Royale. I play some Brawl Stars. I play way more Clash Royale. Brawl is cool. Brawl is fun, but, you know, is what it is. I like Clash Royale better. Some people like Brawl better. That's all their thing. Here we go. Game number 2. Buffmac banning Lightning in this one. Interesting ban from Buffmac. Buffmac did say that he thought this would be his most challenging match of the day on his schedule. And, you know, talking about who Buffmac faces today, he faces Omer as well, Hugo, and Runbar. So you understand why he picked Belly as his most difficult match of the day, as it's the only... He's already gone through the invited pros, already played Javi, already played iAmJP. He did think this would be the most challenging one so far, and it's proven to be that. Belikin, on the other side of it, did not pick Buffmac as his most difficult match of the day. He believes that JP will be his most difficult matchup. And it's so funny, Belly now going with his Lava Hound in game number 2. Is your hair color natural? Yeah. Naturally. Inside it looks a little bit reddish, but I'm naturally like a dirty blonde. And yeah, the Denisito deck coming out here from Buff. Denisito and Mohamed Parsa have both gotten a lot of love from the Pheno deck. Used to get a little bit of love competitively, but Mohamed Parsa and Denisito are the ones seem to be getting the most love right now. Weirdly enough, in some of these matchups. Belikin kind of shaking his head this time again. And here should be the hog to the... No, nice bait out by Buffmac. What a great bait by Buff. Unbelievable. That was brilliant. That was some great mind games out of Buffmac. You have to expect the knights coming there. And Buff drops the knight to one side. You expect the hog to come behind it. He goes hog opposite lane. Very, very nicely done there by Buff. Buffmac's playing a good game here in number 2. Really, really good game here in number 2. I think he loses tower here. Is that balloon going to get... The balloon will get death damage, not much more than that. Oh, the arrows don't make enough room. Ah, Belikin's really unhappy about that one. He has to... I don't even think he can get to a miner. He can zap that off and then try to miner, but you can see Buffmac is just covering. Going to go ahead and miner. The log doesn't get there, but Fireball does. And, yeah, not going to be enough. Belly not happy about that one. Buffmac played a great game in that one. This has been a fun game, a fun match, in both games so far. Really have enjoyed watching this one so far. What a great way to start off our last day of the group stage in the European region. Honestly, that bait was kind of obvious. Surprise Belly fell for that, says Sam. Yeah, I agree. It's also one of those things, too, where if you don't bite on it, then he goes with the hog there anyway. I guess you can still get the barbs down in time. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's kind of an obvious play, but also maybe he was just thinking that Buff was doing the obvious thing. So it's kind of a 50-50 year. Maybe next year a faster tournament, too long and too complicated to follow. IMO. Yoav, this isn't that complicated. There's a group stage. From the group stage, you make it to your regional final. The people who make it through the regional final go to the World Championship. Like, it's not that different than the World Cup, honestly. OP Sam extends contact to SK, and so 2v2 will be dominated. Yeah, there's no more 2v2. Sorry to tell you. Sorry to burst your bubble there, but I am excited, though, that Sam and Morton are both going to be coming back to SK Gaming. I'm glad that SK Gaming is staying in the Clash Royale world, too. I think that they're one of the organizations that has clearly given a lot of themselves to Clash Royale, and I appreciate that. Who's better, Leon or Crow? I don't know. What month is it? It's been a long time. It is a long tournament here. But it's for $40,000, it's got to be kind of long, you know? You can't have like a 10-day tournament for $40,000. It's a big event. $15,000 grand prize. So just a staring match here in this one. Bans are Hunter and Lightning. Hey, Maxime, thank you very much. Who wins Poirier or McGregor? That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I don't have a good answer to that one. How about British accent commentary for last game? I don't think I have a good English accent. I mean, also there are so many different English accents. But I don't think I have like, you know, I don't think I have a good enough English accent. These are BO3s here. Isn't those pros make like $1 zillion a year? No, Yoav. They do not make anywhere near that. If you're a content creator, you can separate that out, right? Some content creators make very, very, very good money off of YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is. But I think that the most money that any pro made off of salary in CRL is much lower than many of you think. I'm a little stuffed up today. Baby boy Slaton has a bit of a cold, and I've been holding off against it, but I think that maybe I've got it now. Heal Spirit to the left-hand lane. Not a lot of Heal Spirit being played right now. Buffmac busting it out. So the question is he going Royal Giant? Is he going Balloon? Or is he going E-Golem? This could be E-Golem from Buff, which is why Belly's just sitting on it. Belly does not want to do the move first and then get 3 crown by an Elixir Golem the opposite lane. Tail Pro, do you think it should be mandatory for players to have their face cams on? It's such a hard thing to enforce, mandatory, right? Like, you first assume that they have face cams, that they have the Wi-Fi that works for it, that they're in a place where they can be on a face cam. Like, there's a whole bunch of things. I don't even know if Buffmac has a webcam that he's... I've never seen him on face cam that I can think of. So Giant Sparky for Buff. Very interesting. Smart Fireball out of Belly. And a good Dark Prince. That's a good Dark Prince. Use that shield to absorb the shot from the Sparky. But Buff's way ahead on Elixir. That's the only problem here. He was in the face cam for CRL, was he? Yeah, well, I guess... You know, I mean, again, it's like, how do you... For something like this, how do you require it? I don't know. I've never liked the term require. It's encouraged. We like to have a face cam, obviously, but had a big debate about this on Twitter the other day about requiring face cams. Oh, is this is Agony Kings? Oh, yeah, with the mini P.E.K.K.A. And Belly sees the Sparky behind King Tower and immediately, and Buffmac makes a mistake with his E-Wiz. I think Belikin takes this in time. I guess maybe the mini P.E.K.K.A. stops him. Is the mini P.E.K.K.A. stopping here? Second Sparky down for Buffmac. I guess Buff had a face cam for CRL. Well, I guess he doesn't want to use it, so whatever. It is nice to have, but again, the word require is always weird. Look at this pressure on the right-hand side. Doesn't get the... Oh, the Dark Prince hits through the Giant. 278 left. Oh, yeah, for CRL. That's a good point there, Juliet. Was that the face cams for CRL were provided by CRL. And Belly gets the win there in game number 3. Nice work for Belikin. Yeah, that's a really good point there that Juliet, I forgot to make, was that CRL provided the face cams for those players to use during competition. So some players have their own face cams, like, as you can see, Belikin here. Some players don't have their own face cams, or don't have them set up, or whatever it might be. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that's a very good point, Juliet. Thanks for reminding me about that one. Thank you very much for the reminder. It's a friendly match, says Jady Lopez. Is it? It's a friendly match with a lot of money on the line. It's not a friendly, like... You know, we're just playing an in-clan battle or something. Chris Morello in the chat. So Belly does take the win here. And let me go ahead and reopen my app grade. So with that, Belikin moves to 2-2 and is firmly in the middle of the pack alongside Hugo and Runbar, who are in 3rd and 4th at the same position. Buffmac falls to 1-3 and is the first player to fall that far down. So we'll see. We'll see if he keeps on falling in that same direction. Where are your glasses at? We'll have the glasses at some point. I have a pair you've never seen before. I have a pair you've never seen that I'm putting on today. I'm pretty excited about it. Neptune in chat, people are saying. Cool. Hello, Neptune. You'll have saying big misplay by Buff. Yeah, maybe. That E-Wiz could have been a big problem. Would you think is still unfair if people are cheating? What do you mean, Moni? Like, you think that people play for them and play for them? Well, considering now that the TOS violations are being very heavily monitored for CRL, I don't think any player right now is risking having their accounts. All these accounts are being checked very heavily, both for this tournament and for CRL. So I don't think anyone's being that silly to make that mistake. And then if they're counting Elixir, well, it's in online tournaments, it is what it is. Yeah, well, no one here is having someone else play for them because all these accounts are being checked for terms of service violations. So, you know, whoever's playing on this account is playing on this account forever. And no one's playing for Buffmac, which is silly. And Matthew lavas up. 3-3 split here for Omer. Looking like piggies, I think, for Omer here. And Baby Dragon on the left is going to do a lot of damage here. Omer's going to have to... Yeah, see, Flying Machine goes back that direction for a moment. Takes care of the Baby Dragon. And here we go. Hogs at the bridge. Cage to pick up. Yo, I'm not going to tell you precisely how it's done, but when you see players get banned for account sharing, that's what happens. So the same way that they ban people for account sharing and for cheap gems and all that stuff, there's a team that does fair play checks. The only way to get around that is if you are having someone fly in and stay at your house to play on your account, which at that point, I mean, okay. Hogs to the right-hand side, picked up by the cage. Baby Dragon working against him. And Miner in front of the Lava Hound, working on that cage to get it out of the way here. And Fireball does not get any of those pups or bats out of Omer. And that's going to be a lot of damage on the left-hand lane. Just like that, Omer's lead completely disappears. I see some people talking about the Triple Elixir Global Tournament. I decided to play the Mohamed Parsa deck in that one. I don't think I did very well. I think I did not get, what did I get, like 6 or 8 wins or something like that? My first time playing the Mohamed Parsa deck. It was fun. It was fun to play. Maybe it's not good for Triple Elixir, though. It felt like it would have been. And tower down left-hand side. Matthew taking game number 1 here. Spectators shouldn't be able to see Elixir. It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question on that one. But love from Portugal, says King Rafa. Or Hilario Faria. Hey, hello to Portugal as well. I'm excited for the Portuguese team in No-Tilt Worlds. Really, really talented roster there, and excited to see all of those players get big shots this year in CRL 2021. Hey, Chris Morello, thanks for stopping by. And hopefully you get to watch more of Belly later. It'll be available in the replay. Of course, if you guys are watching just now, go ahead and jump on that subscribe link. Make sure you stick around and sub and catch all the action here for the Bren Chong Cup, both in this region and the other regions as well. What's your opinion on a friendly creators tournament? Just to see names like yourself or Ash or Shane battle each other. Wouldn't it be fun to watch? Maybe. I don't know. People might have fun with that. Could be cool. Be curious to see who the best players are out of there. So next up, after that victory, let's go ahead and take a look at our next match. It's going to be JP and Runbar. Oh no, sorry, we're still going game number 2. Man, I don't know why I thought we were done. Matthew wins game number 1 in this match against Runbar. Two Germans here, and I asked both Omer and Matthew, along with Runbar. So it's Omer and Matthew. Sorry, I'm looking at a lot of different things right now. I asked a lot of these players from Germany why they think there are so many good players out of Germany right now. Matthew saying, I think in Germany we have a lot of people who just enjoy watching streams and then they start playing the game. And he thinks that of the Germans, besides Sam and Morton, he thinks that Reichert has the however you want to pronounce it, that Reichert will have the biggest impact in 2021. So that's his pick for the German outside of Sam and Morton, who will have the biggest impact on 2021 Clash Royale. And then, of course, his opponent, Omer. I asked him about the Turkish players, and he does say that he's not sure if how big Turkey, although Omer lives in Germany of Turkish descent and represents Turkey in international competition. He's not really sure if a Turkish player will perform high, but he thinks that if Alperin gets going, he could be a big breakout star for Turkey this year. And Omer, again, lives in Germany, but his favorite Clash Royale moment is when he did get to represent Turkey in international competition. Not a lot of damage so far. Matthew in the lead with the first 2 minutes away. $19-10 to nothing so far. And the Hog does not connect. EQ comes in. And pretty even on Elixir. So right now, advantage Matthew pretty much top to bottom right now. Interesting setup here for Omer to the opposite direction. Maybe we see the balloon come out into the left-hand lane. There we go. Musketeer and Bomb Tower working in defense. I'm not even sure right now if Matthew's concerned about getting hog hits on tower. They're always nice, and he almost gets that one. The freeze has to come out on defense. And Omer calling the good game here. $10:22 remaining, and so far, look at this. Matthew has still not given up a single shot of damage on his towers. NATO to the opposite lane, and look at that. Bomb Tower pulls anyway. Will Musketeer will not stop that damage, though. Will prevent the tower from dropping. But takes a nice little chunk here on the right-hand side. Fancy play from Omer, maybe a bit fancier response out of Matthew. Shift on the cage placement, and a good opportunity here for Omer to get some damage in. Raged up balloon. Interesting NATO choice there. Gets all that into the freeze. Death damage in, 664 to 1086. Matthew still with the lead, but Omer making a good case for his success. Omer did call this what he thought would be his most challenging match of the day. And he does think that a lot of his success rides on this matchup right here. If he believes that if he doesn't win this one, it's going to be very difficult for him to qualify, and he's probably right at 1 and 2. EQ in right now for Matthew. But raged up balloon going the opposite direction. Can that balloon sneak on by? I don't believe so. The freeze comes in, not going to be there. Log takes care of business. Matthew takes the first game of the day for either of these two. Improves to 2 and 2, joins Runbar, Belly, and Hugo in the middle. Omer joins Boeuf down at the bottom at 1 and 3. And my throat is dry. Hi from Malaysia, says Ongpo Yi. Hello to Malaysia. Good to see you. Can I give you a sneak peek of No Tilt Worlds? I don't know much more beyond the 64 teams. There will be a group stage. And then teams will advance from the group stage onto another stage. That's about what I know from the No Tilt Worlds. I don't know when it starts, though. But one thing that's interesting about this year, guys, is that because of the massive shift in CRL format, with CRL broadcasts running once a month for a couple days rather than running for these big 10-week runs, is it means it's easier to schedule events like No Tilt Worlds, like Bren Chong Cup 2, because you don't have to go dark for X number of weeks while CRL's happening. So that's actually a really nice thing if we're talking about things that are positives from the change of CRL, that's one of the nice things. It opens up community and other events to more flexibility of when they can be used. And yes, use code RICH. That would be pretty nice. Let me go ahead and throw you guys that little boom graphic there at the bottom. Use code RICH in all your Supercell games. Do appreciate that. Hunter or Musketeer. I like the Muskie, but I understand why people like the Hunter a whole lot. Super duper strong. Hey guys, thank you very much for the code RICH usage. I do really appreciate that. Also subscribe to this channel. That would be super cool as well. Matthew takes that one pretty easily. And next up is going to be Buffmac and Omer. So this will be an is that the next one, really? No, it's iAmJP and Runbar. Man, I'm forgetting where we are on the schedule. iAmJP and Runbar up next. Excited to see that one. First match for iAmJP of the day, and he's the one that most people seem like that they're most scared of. Let's go ahead and jump in to that matchup here. And JP, bottom of your screen, Runbar up at the top. And talking about his most difficult matches, Runbar said that JP would be the biggest challenge of his day. He's never had a big success like other players in the tournament, and this is sort of his biggest step up, and he's excited to meet and play against new people like JP. So just getting to this stage here is a big accomplishment for him. We'll see how he performs with such a big moment. Chance to go 3-2 if he wins this matchup against JP. JP gets aggressive. Up high, Electro Spirit and E-Wiz behind the Royal Giant. Royal Giant will connect on that right-hand tower for 2 shots. Or was that 3? And as I mentioned before, it is very cold in Spain right now. And you see JP rocking the big puffy jacket. And Bowler Loon freeze here for Runbar. He also, another German player who, like his countryman Matthew, also picked Reichert, as the breakout player for Germany this year. So that's 2 participants from Germany in this group alone who have both picked the same player as their guy who they think will make a big splash in 2021. That's a good defensive freeze out of Runbar, as good as it can get. Does he protect here? And that's a great barb barrel out of Runbar to keep that burn alive. Can he turn this into any sort of offense, though? Not entirely sure. It's a frustrating proposition for Runbar because he wants to go Lumber Loon. And that Inferno Dragon is the best response to the Royal Giant. But what it means is that he has to use the Inferno Dragon on the Royal Giant pretty much no matter what, and that E-Wiz can counter hard. Although at this point, E-Wiz goes to the opposite lane here. We'll see what JP chooses to do in this moment. The Lumberjack can, of course, get pulled off by the Fisherman. Hunter set up low here, 966 in the right-hand lane. JP with the lead by a lot. And that's a nice little bit of NATO work with the bowler to try to take some of this off, but now you can see Runbar having a little difficulty making his choices here. Lots of look at the elixir leakage difference here. 6.2 to 1.8. I mean, that's an entire... That's more than a Lumberjack. E-Wiz going to be off the board. Does a balloon come out here behind this Lumberjack? Bowler is down as well. And here comes the balloon, maybe a half step late. Baby Dragon behind it. Will get raged up. The Hunter Fireball stops the balloon. I believe that's death damage in, though. Final 90 seconds left, 1751 to 712. Between the Hunter, the E-Wiz, and the Fireball. So difficult for the young German to break through. Lumber Loon to the opposite lane. And this one could be a connection here. Freeze comes in a little bit early, though. Runbar really could have stolen the game right there if he had a half step more patience. RG to the right-hand side. Good NATO bowler lumberjack work here. Baby Dragon, or the Barbell will get behind. And Runbar just doing everything he can to stay alive here. Lumberjack or Royal Giant does not take that right-hand tower. 396 remaining. A lot of elixir leakage, though. And nice protection for the Hunter there with that Fisherman. Fireball comes out. Bowler will not get on that right-hand tower. 23 seconds left. Runbar has to go and has to go aggressive right now. How does he get on this E-Wiz and the Hunter? And Runbar just a couple of sequences here. This was definitely a matchup for JP. No questions about that. But a couple of sequences here where Runbar just was the tiniest bit out of sequence and how to approach it. And probably could have stolen this one potentially. Certainly could have made it a lot more competitive at certain moments, but JP definitely had a pretty good matchup there in that one. JP up 1 in our third match of the day. Taking a look at the chat here for a moment. Yeah, Chris saying I was wondering about the jacket. Yeah, there's been a blizzard, a pretty serious series of storms in Spain, which is part of our production challenges here, because the main production is in the Team Queso studio out of Spain. So there are some challenges that they've had because of those, whether it be internet outages or power spikes and outages, things like that. So that's part of why you see JP bundled up like crazy, because of how cold it is in Spain right now. Look at the chat here for another moment. I wonder why JP isn't standing and playing. Because he's not playing. I don't think he's at the studio. I think he's playing from home. I'm not entirely sure. Egan Lee, the standings and everything are available on the Upgrade app. They'll fly in the current standings for this group when they have them. But I'm not in charge of when they show up on screen here. So you can follow along in the Upgrade app, and then also occasionally the production will fly in standings in between matches. And we can see those there. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. JP with the advantage. Snipe asking when will we see Morton play. Morton's group is already finished. We'll see him in the European finals in about 10 days. Tips for floods. Get on top of a hill. I'm going to eat 2 bites of my Chinese food. Please wait 1 moment. There we go, 2 bites of Chinese food down. A few more to go. Lava Hound for Runbar. JP with RG Minor. Very interesting. Tips for floods without hills nearby. Get a boat. So interesting choice of deck here from JP. And logs all that back, controls of the skeletons. Nice 3 elixir there to deal with the barbarians. Sets up Baby Dragon, does JP. And Runbar trying to find a way to break on through here. The Musketeer, though, good call from JP. They get a lot of single target DPS against all these flying troops. And now healthy Baby Dragon plus Musketeer. An RG in front of the Musketeer. That's a smart RG. He's going to probably fireball this. There we go. So it protects the Musketeer, puts pressure, and sucked out the barbs. Smart RG all the way around from JP. Let's see how he handles this balloon coming in. Bomb tower high. Musketeer does go down, though. Miner to the front. Runbar putting together a nice push. And that balloon's going to connect. What a good push out of Runbar, and just like that, he's back in the game. Not just back in the game, but in the lead in sudden death overtime. Don't love those barbs there out of Runbar. Maybe a bit hasty. Just fed the fireball and gave the Musketeer free reign there in the back. Yeah. And JP with a really nice win, and that should be enough to qualify. But we'll see. Runbär. Runbär, is that it? Runbär. Working on my German pronunciations. JP with a nice win. And at 4-1, that should be enough for him to make it through. We'll see. Mrs. Slaton's bringing me some tea because my voice is struggling today. As you guys can hear, my voice is my throat's a little bit shot. We have the heater running pretty high here in Austin right now. It's not as cold as it is in Spain, but it's cold. And as you can hear, my voice is a little bit rough at the moment. Tips for floods without a hill and boots nearby. Sven. Tie a rope to something high up and then hang from it. Also, make sure you have good upper body strength so you can hang from it for a long time. Learn how to swim. Not for floods. Don't swim in a flood. I mean, you should learn how to swim, but don't swim in a flood. That's actually a good tip there as well. So solid win there for JP. Next matchup is going to be Belly and Javi. Ooh, boy, that's going to be a fun one. Belly and Javi coming up next. Belly has the gamut today. Has to play Buffmac, Javi, and JP all on the same day. And interesting that he picked JP as the hardest matchup rather than Javi. Very interesting. Don't bend your neck like that, mate. Bend my neck like what? What am I doing? Don't turn my neck to the where the screen is over here. What am I doing? What am I doing? How am I bending? Am I bending my neck weird? LYT. Let's see. Thoughts on several pros taking a break from CR. It's always good to take a break from something that you are grinding really hard. Yeah, high risk, high rewards. Barbie. If he predicted RG, he would have won, says Lucas Ribeiro. That's a good point. If that had been an RG prediction, but 50-50. Glasses will be out here soon. I have some good ones that you've never seen before, which I'm excited about. Let's see. Who do you think is better? Of what? Helps your voice. The tea, yeah. Mrs. Layton's bringing some tea. Very excited about it. Definitely. JP is the world champ. Duh, says Tesfaye Worku. Yeah. He is the world champ. No question about it. A lot of that is because of Ruben, and Javi is one of the winningest players in the history of the game for competitive Clash Royale. So I don't think if I have first pick, and Javi and JP are both potential picks, I can't guarantee that I would pick JP over Javi. Right? That's not an easy pick. Personally, I'd probably pick Javi over JP. That's me personally. But JP's a phenomenal player. So here we go, Belly and Javi 14. And there you go, both on cams. This is fun, and Javi going full, what is that, Ninja Turtle? I think that's what that sweatshirt is. You can see, again, the cold in Spain right now. And I know that Belly personally hates the firecracker. So we'll see how he contends with it as time goes on. Javi did pick Belly as his most difficult matchup of the day. He says that every match is going to be a challenge today, but that Belly was probably the hardest one. I asked both of these players what they thought was going to be the hardest thing about CRL 2021. And Javi, his opinion, was that the hardest part of CRL 2021 would be the first qualifiers, to see how it is. He thinks that this first round of CRL 2021 is going to be the hardest part because it's going to be so kind of crazy to see how no one's going to know what really the best approach is. Belikin's answer to the same question, what's the hardest part of CRL 2021? He thinks it's going to be making it from the top 1,000 in ladder to the top 32. That Swiss format. against random ladder players is going to be really difficult for people to predict their matchups and to make the right choices. So, you know, making top 1,000 for a high-quality player, not very difficult in ladder. But getting from that top 1,000 to top 32, he thinks that's going to be an absolute mess, a very difficult thing for anybody to pull off. Well, so far, good start here for Javi. And Tesfaye Worku, yes. Do I think it's a lot of Ruben? Oh, yeah, do I? Well, let's go ahead and just take a look at the stats from Team Queso this year. Ruben for Team Queso in 2020, win rate of 70%, 2 King of the Hill sweeps, went 32-14 overall in games, 8-3 in 1v1 sets. iAmJP had a win rate this season of 60%. 15 games won, 10 games lost. And a lot of that came near the end. Nice RG connection there, and Belikin shaking his head knowing this one's probably over. So, you know, JP had a good run there at the end, and certainly nothing to take away from JP's overall skill level, and Belly kind of shaking his head there. GG, well played. But again, if we're talking about who really carried the big weight on Team Queso, Ruben himself won 32 games this season at a 70% win rate, whereas JP won 15 games at a 60% win rate. And that came later. Again, he showed up, and that's the same thing for both JP and for Kuchi and Benny, was that all of them showed up primarily in the playoffs. They were all really rough during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, JP stepped up, Kuchi stepped up, Benny who stepped up. But yeah, to say that Ruben wasn't like, I don't think Team Queso's world champions if Ruben's not on that team. Those are all good players, but let's be real. But JP is a world champ. No taking that from him. JP is a world champ, a no-tilt league special edition champ, and a CR Western champion. Let's see. That's a weird one. We'll get rid of that one. Reading some chat here for a moment. No Candy Only Wi-Fi here for... Oh, yeah, No Candy Only Wi-Fi plays tomorrow in the kickoff match of the North American region. And again, if you guys want to follow along with North America, that starts tomorrow 1 hour earlier than we started here. So that's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Europe. You know what? No. Someone asked me the question of Ruben versus JP, and I made the point. Easy reset here for... Javi Catorze. Lava Hound goes to the right-hand side. Thoughts on Clone? Some players are good with it. It's super annoying. But it's exciting when it gets played. It's one of the more exciting cards in the game. Let's put it that way. You never see a Clone and go, that was not exciting. Baby Dragon saves most of that damage. Belly shaking his head one more time. .1047 on the left-hand lane. Javi in the lead. And Belly lavas up one more time. As we said before, Belly says he likes Lava because it doesn't have as many bad matchups and has far fewer hard counters than many other decks. But when you're known for playing Lava Hound a whole bunch, your opponent going Hunter, Snowball, Poison, yeah, there's a reason we're seeing what we're seeing. Let's put it that way. Belikin's certainly not happy, and you understand why. Snowball pushes everything back. I mean, this is an excellent snipe here by Javi, and Belly may be being a bit predictable with his deck choice here. I asked Belly about preparation for this tournament, and he said, quote, "I've decided not to do any preparation at all. Well, I'm not going to go with the rest of it necessarily, but I keep losing to players who aren't as good, and I think it's because I overanalyze and they pick a deck that I didn't see coming, a random deck that turns out to be a horrible matchup." So his game plan here was to just pick generally solid decks and hope that he gets the good matchup, unless there's someone spamming a certain deck, and then he'll go to snipe or go for that matchup. But that essentially, to sum all that up, Javi's saying that he was over-preparing and over-analyzing for a lot of these games, and it was not working out for him. Graham saying, you thought he was 16. Belikin played in the first season of CRL in 2018, which means he was 16 then. So Belly's been around for a minute. Balloon goes to the left-hand side, and the cage across the bridge. Very nice work. There's something there that Belly didn't like. I didn't see what it was. Balloon does not connect here. Hunter not in cycle for this defense for Belly. Although look at the, oh my gosh, look at the play that Javi just put on. He plays Hunter across the bridge to get rid of the Inferno Dragon. Belly goes for the balloon play, and Javi pulls the balloon back with the cage and then snowballs it right to the Hunter. I don't know if Javi has any chance of winning this game crosswise against Lava Hound playing Graveyard, but that play alone is one of the reasons why I am one of the biggest Javi Catorze fans on the planet. What a great, great sequence. Bar Barrel in Graveyard trying to put some damage down. Poison going to work. Two Hunters working on that Balloon. Balloon not going to do anything. Miner goes right in the middle of all that. Arrows down, Snowball to reset. Balloon coming in for Belly on the left-hand side. Cage again goes to the opposite side. The Skeleton Dragon's there to work on it, but again, the high Hunter. Javi does get the catch. And just going straight up spell cycle, and Belly knows that he just got beat. Belly knows he just got beat. What a game from Javi Catorze. Unbelievable. You can see Belly not happy with that one. Javi, absolute wow. Absolute wow. What a performance there in those final minute and a half. Like my brain just exploded. The play there against the Balloon with the Hunter to the opposite side, somehow pulling that one out. Just wow. Just crazy. Anyone removed his Miner play where he played Miner opposite lane? Yeah, I wish you could clip stuff in YouTube. That's the one thing. That's the only reason why. The only reason why I was streaming to both Twitch and YouTube before, so I could clip stuff on Twitch for great plays. If someone can timestamp that somewhere, that would be phenomenal. Like in the not in the chat, but in the comments. Wow. Wow. I'm kind of speechless for how good that was. Fubuki, how to participate in Bren Chong and better than these players. Well, Fubuki, there were open qualifiers. You missed out on them. But guess what? Put your money where your mouth is. You say you're better than them, guess what? CRL 2021 has $1.6 million on the line. $1.6 million, $75,000 each of the 8 months for qualifiers, plus about $1 million for the actual World Finals. So, get it. You believe you're this good? Put your money where your mouth is. There are open qualifiers for other events like this throughout the year. You can go ahead and follow me or Revel on Twitter to find out about those. And then, of course, CRL 2021 is completely open. So if you're that good, show it. That's what I say. You got me. Thank you very much, Omotayo. I do appreciate that. Man. What an unbelievable game by Javi. Unbelievable. So now we go into our next match, Hugo and Matthew. Hugo, one of the few remaining French players in the tournament. I'm trying to remember if anyone else is left. One moment, please. I think this is Hugo's first appearance of the day. Yes, it is. In this matchup with Matthew. Hugo has had a lot of competitive experience in the past, and things like the No Tilt World Championship, making it fairly decently far in that. No Tilt League, World Royale League. And I asked him, what are some things that he's learned from all that competitive experience? He said that the #1 thing he learned was to not underestimate your opponents. You know, you play in certain events where you think that maybe, hey, I'm not up against the biggest name in the world, so I shouldn't be worried. Or maybe you play up against a big player and you think, oh, they're not as good, they're just famous. And Hugo learned that lesson to not take anyone for granted. Like I was saying, good luck to our new player who's going to go ahead and win everything. Good luck there, Fubuki Shiru. I hope that you do win all the money, and then come here and then on CRL streams I'll be talking about how great you are in the moment during our Bren Chong stream when you declared that it was going to happen. A lot of damage in the right-hand lane. Oh boy. Hugo, easy GG here in this Lava Hound versus Hoggy Q matchup. A lot of lava so far today. And Hugo takes game #1. Levin Jose saying, did Sean Kim leave Tribe? Is it Levin Jose? Or I don't know if that's Portuguese or if you're Brazilian. Or Portuguese, or if that's Spanish for the Jose or Jose. But Tribe tweeting about asking, Tribe's looking for a new coach. That's new information for me. That's new information for me. Interesting matchup here. The play was around 1 hour and 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Yeah, Lava doing well so far in this tournament. Very popular at the moment. Is Hog Cycle the cheesiest deck, Pedro Oliveira? No, I think it's the Stinky Cheese deck. Eagle and Battle Healer. That's what I had said. Can you be in CRL? Well, me, no, because I'm not good enough. But you can. There's the link in the chat. You can be in CRL. And I believe that you will be. Rich, if you can create a team with 4 players, who would you choose? Is 2v2 being played or just head-to-head? That's the question, sorry, boy. So let me know. If there's 2v2, that's a different answer than if there's no 2v2. But tell me. Mark Littlewood asking, Rich, how do you keep your voice working so that you can cast so many hours a day? Drink lots of tea and honey or something? My voice is actually kind of dying today. Mrs. Slaton just dropped off some tea for me, which I am drinking right now. I took a sip of it. Mance Raider, when I think lava is no skill, I play it in a GC and remind myself that I am what is no skill. I love that. I love that. Dark Prince down left-hand lane. Matthew looking like it's going to be the Electro Giant game. Sorry, boys, saying it's only 1v1. So 4 players for only 1v1. I think that the 4 I pick would probably be Ruben, Morton, Javi, and if it's... Well, here's the question, whether it's a live event or online event, because that does change some things. But Ruben, Morton, Javi, and maybe Elsiab, honestly. Just because he's so stone cold. And he's been so good for so long. So could be playing a mirror here. It might be Electro Giant versus Electro Giant between these two. I asked Matthew what his favorite moment of his Clash Royale career was so far. And he said finishing top 20 on ladder in August of 2020. Anytime you get a big tie finish like that, of course, that's a career highlight. And for Matthew, that's one of those big ones. Here we go. Electro Giant does come out on both sides. What about Mugi? I don't know. Maybe Mugi. I wouldn't pick Jupiter as my on my top 14, but it depends on what I'm feeling like. I could go either way with Mugi or with LCI. But if it's a live event in front of on a live stage, if it's online, I pick Mugi. If it's a live event on stage, I pick LCI. Final 30 seconds of regulation, and it's been Hugo so far the entire way. Someone's giving me an angry face in the chat, not entirely sure why. But people get very attached to your opinions here in Clash Royale, which I'm glad everyone's passionate about it. And Dark Prince does connect on the right-hand side for the charge. Huge connection there for Hugo. 11. I actually didn't see your answer to the Jose or Jose question. Lightning takes all that out behind, and that's been a bit of the story here for Hugo so far. He's doing a good job of controlling the fight up high, and that's the Lightning versus the EQ. In this matchup, the bridge fight is so critical, and it's been impossible for Matthew to get in that bridge fight the same way because of those Lightnings. You're Indonesian, but it's, hold on, is it Jose like Ja, or is it Jose like an H? I don't know the pronunciation there. Electro Giants both going to the right-hand side, but I don't see any real chance here for Matthew in this one. The inability to win the bridge fight. No chance. That Lightning just so much more valuable in this matchup than the EQ could possibly imagine. So that's a nice GG. Well played. Hugo takes his first appearance here today in 2 games. Solid win for the Frenchman, keeping his country's hopes alive in this event. And that moves him to 3-2, so he will be 1 win away from most likely qualifying for the regional finals. And let's see. What's your favorite mobile game other than CR, says Hisham. Ooh, that's a good question. I love Brawl Stars. I just don't play it very often. Was playing a lot of Diablo Immortal when it was out in alpha, and when it comes back out again, I'll be playing it again a whole bunch. I've started playing a little of PUBG Mobile, just a tad, but you know, CR by far, like far and away, is my favorite mobile game of all time. Let's see. How do we spec them on the game? Be their friend if they're on your friends list. Otherwise, you spectate them here. And there you go, Yarum. Don't forget to sub to my channel, guys. As long as we're all here. So let's see. I think we'll get stats up here in a minute. I'll keep an eye on that one. Let you guys know if we do get those stats flying in. Either way, coming up next, going to be Buffmac and Omer. Buffmac, of course, with 3 losses now, probably has to win out to stay in the game. We'll see. What about COD? COD Mobile? I played it for a minute. Not really into it, though. Is this hosted by CR? Well, how'd you get here? What are your other life goals? What is our other life goals to be completed? working on most of them. Most of them are coming along pretty nicely. Let's see. We should have our next one here in just a couple of moments. Other life goals. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of achieving a lot of them. Maybe actually release a stand-up comedy album, not just a couple videos here and there. I recorded one years ago. I don't know if I'm going to release it, though. So Omer and Buffmac, last match of round 5 in this group stage. Favorite Hollywood movie? It's either Indiana Jones, the original one. Ghostbusters is up there too. But the OG, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's the jam. Actually, I think it was Soderbergh made a great video that did a version of it where he put it into, was it Soderbergh, where he put it into black and white and then rescored it with the Social Network score, took all the sound out. It's a great movie, but a beautifully shot movie. Indigo Blum asking what question? I didn't see your question. Will it be the same as sharing to give your account to someone? Yes. No one can play on your account in no one can play in your account in CRL 2021. They are doing exhaustive checks once you qualify to verify identities. All the rules are available here at this link, but account sharing is against terms of service. And that is no matter how you do it. Oso Fuentes, do you think CRL will ever let us mortals expect the top 1,000 ladder because of CRL? I know Snipes would be an issue, but people would have a bigger deck pool. I think there might be some other plans on how to view that top 1,000 ladder. CRL stands for Clash Royale League. Mark Littlewood, what is this fatal flaw? Let's see the fatal flaw that was pointed out by Big... First of all, anytime you're talking about Big Bang Theory as a source for anything, that's already a problem. That is, without question, an issue on its own. 1173 to 1219, still pretty close between these two. Tuan, that does not mean that it was the ladder. Notice you're facing high-level players because you are pushing up high on ladder. That means that either you are overperforming Tuan Lamb or they are underperforming. Does not mean that it's rigged, though. My personal best is 63-23 Super Bassy. Here we go. Mega Knight at the bridge. And Knight to hold at the top. And that was not a great hunter out of Buffmac. And that Barb Barrel takes it off the board. Zappy's doing a good job here, but Omer is back in this one. Graveyard doing a lot of damage here. And that poison gets a ton of value. Buffmac should have the win pretty well sewn up. Do these guys finish it off right here? And they do. Buffmac takes game number 1. GG, well played. Game 1 for Buffmac. Keeping himself alive for the moment. Needs one more to secure this match victory. And, of course, keep himself in the middle. A lot of people talking about might be the ability to spectate people in top ladder. I understand why they don't, and I believe that there are some things in the work to help you guys follow along top ladder end of season. So you might not be able to spectate top ladder, but there will be available of like in game. But there should be some things happening for you to be able to watch more of top ladder at the end, guys. Let's see. Indiana Jones and Marion will affect the outcome of the film in any way. The same thing would have end up happening if they'd done nothing, says Mark Littlewood. It's an interesting argument. Although I disagree with that, Mark Littlewood. Here's my counterpoint to that one. If they had done nothing, then there would have been no one there to help apprehend the arc at the end after after the villains all get wiped out by the Ark's presence. And then they would have just kept the Ark. They would have been like, oh, that did not work. And then taken the Ark and done something differently, right? So Marion and Indiana Jones were critical to that, if only because they were there to apprehend the Ark at the end. GG Big Bang Theory. GG indeed. How long does the Bren Chong Cup last? Days, weeks? The Bren Chong Cup, the group stage, we are at the end of the EU of the first half of the group stage. LATAM and NA start tomorrow. That will last for 8 days. Then we go, after that is over, we have the regional finals, which will end on the 31st of January. Then we take a 12-day break, and then from February 12th to 14th, we have the World Finals. All of you have, I've now seen the same question about top ladder spectating multiple times. I will refer you to earlier in this video. Chris Morello, I'm the best in our clan for my two requests to join. I don't know what you mean there, Chris Morello, but congratulations on whatever it is you mean. Omer with a significant advantage here in the first minute 20. I've never been to Belgium, for Arnie, who asked about that. Where's Surgical Goblin? I'm guessing somewhere in the Netherlands. That's where I would guess. What Bren Chong means. Bren Chong is the name of the lead sponsor. Bren Chong is a person who is the primary sponsor of this event. I don't know why Japan is not in no-till worlds. I didn't know that Japan wasn't. I have no idea what's going on with Japan and no-till worlds. Second time playing Lava Clone today for Buffmac. And that Lumberjack, oh my gosh. Those bats shred the tower. Oh, my Lord. Fisherman tries to do his job, but the Lumberjack keeps tanking for the bats, and they go and absolutely manhandle that left-hand tower. Absolutely brutal here for Omer. King Roman asking, how old am I? I'm 104 years old. I look darn good for it. That tower on the right-hand shot. Oh, does not go down, so has to spend the log here. And now here comes the Lava Clone. Good Ice Golem, but not going to get, not a great Ice Golem. Oh boy, that's tower down. GG, well played. Buffmac going to take this 1 and 2. Who do I think will win the No-Till Worlds 2021? Me, all by myself. Ton Lamb. 8 out of 10 in my matches, I'm facing level 13 players with level 13 cards. My cards are level 12. Yes, that is not... Ton Lamb, let me explain this. That is not because the game is rigged against you. It's that you have pushed up trophies high enough that you're reaching people who are level 13s who are on the low end of level 13 trophies. It has nothing to do with the game being rigged. It's that you have pushed up... It's that you have performed well enough to play against higher leveled players. That's what it is. You know, you can focus on trying to finish leveling out your deck if you want to not deal with that issue, but that's the same thing like people who play... there are people who are level 1s, who are those level 1 champions who push up into 4K range and play against terrible level 13s who are down at the bottom of 4K. So, yeah, everyone who's complaining about levels as far as matchmaking goes, none of you understand how this game works properly in terms of the matchmaking, because your card levels have nothing to do with matchmaking. It's your trophies. So if you're matching against people who are over-leveled compared to you, good for you. You've been playing well, and you have now earned the right to play against higher-leveled people. Well done. Oh, boy. Can you cast the next match in Shane or Ash's voice? What's up, guys? Ash here today, and today we're going to... I don't have a good Ash. I've never done an Ash. I don't know Shane's voice. But I don't have a good... I never worked on an Ash impression. Never worked on that one before. Let's see. More chat questions. Let's see what's up. What our next match is going to be. Let's see, we just finished Buff and Omer, and that's the end of round 5. We should have some standings here in a minute. We move on to round 6, where we'll kick things off with iAmJP and Belikin. That's going to be fun. And no standings here, but here we go. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys watch this action between Belly and JP while I take 2 bites of my Chinese food. Almost done. Please hold. Yeah, my mic was off for a minute while I took 2 bites. Guys, my mic was off while I took 2 bites from my Chinese food, as I said. And now I am back. And I'm back, and Belly's in the lead, but has been upset on his with pretty much every matchup, I believe, today. We'll see when the pig. There should be piggies here for Belly. We'll see when he actually pulls them out. Yes, thank you, and Alexander. The please hold. David Noriega with maybe the most on-point argument I've ever seen here. The game isn't rigged. It's the negative emotions you have when you lose that make you think that it's rigged. And that's a great way to put it. Mega Knight gets into the right-hand side. Graveyard poison in. Flying Machine not looking at the graveyard at all, so a decent amount of graveyard damage here. And JP's back in it. Belly, though, still in the lead. 1390 to 1814 as we go into sudden death. Yeah, and anybody who's concerned about Elixir counting, Elixir watching, and online play, I don't know, man. It is what it is. When we are able to have live play again, maybe things will be different. Pigs to the left-hand side. Mega Knight in deep, controlled in the middle by the Goblin Cage. Please tell us how matchups work. Like how matchmaking works. You press play, and then the game finds someone who has similar trophies to you, who also pressed play, and then you play each other. That is how matchmaking works in Clash Royale. A lot of damage on the left-hand side from these piggies. 798 remaining. Belly's shaking his head, but he's in the lead here. Good fireball. Plenty of elixir here to control the Mega Knight. And what is JP yelling? JP put his phone down and it started. And I think, is JP streaming his matches? JP might be streaming. Somebody check. You know, I'm gonna go check on Twitch right now to see if JP is actually streaming, because he might be. Let's pop back out to me for a second. I'm going to Twitch right now. I think that JP might be streaming these matches to his audience. I'm gonna go look up iAmJP right now. Yeah, JP is currently streaming his match play on Twitch. So that's who he's talking to. That's so funny. I didn't realize that. I just jumped into JP's stream. Nice work for JP. Yeah, he is streaming. That's funny. How do I earn mod, and what's your favorite esports team? Be around for a long time and be someone who shows good judgment and is non-toxic. My favorite esports team? I don't know. Don't really have one. It's against the rules to be streaming. Oh, that's interesting. Did not know that. Doesn't bother me because he's not taking my viewers. No one. I don't think there's any JP fan who would be watching me over Revel. Revel's the Spanish streamer. There's a link in the chat. But that's interesting. I didn't even know it was against the rules here. He's not showing the matches. He's just streaming his face. Ah, okay. That's important. He's not actually showing the match play. JP is just streaming his own camera and his own commentary. So I guess you have to watch the match play elsewhere, and you can watch his face there. Let me go to his Twitch here, but I believe that's what he's doing. I think he's just doing his face cam here, which is fun. Yeah, that's a fun idea to do just your face cam. And yeah, he's just streaming his face cam, not the gameplay. So I guess he's not violating the rules. What's the fan of doing just his face? I don't know. There's 500 people watching his stream. I guess they're watching the gameplay on one, but they want to hear it with his point of view and commentary. So there you go. Game number 2, Belly in the lead. Minor wall breakers for Belly. Looks like Loon for JP, but could be going with that RG deck again. Edwin says, Rich, I disagree with you about matchmaking. I'm king level 9 and face tower level 13 max out decks very frequently. But what do you disagree with me? I didn't have an opinion. I just said that matchmaking isn't rigged. It's based on trophies exclusively. Now, if you think that they should factor in both trophies and tower, that's interesting. But then you would hit a point in trophies where you wouldn't find any matchups. So that's why they, if you were like level 9 and you made it to 4,500 trophies, it would be so hard for you to find a game after a certain point, right? And then you would level up to level 10 and you would drop down in trophies really quickly. So there's a reason why they do it only based on trophies. But it is based on trophies. That is how they do matchups. On Classic Challenge, how does matchup work? Challenges, I think, are just based on who has the same number of wins, who's similar with you in wins and losses in that challenge. Let's see. Anything else on the chat? Let's just watch the game here instead. JP falling behind here, and this was the matchup that Belly said he thought was the hardest of his day, the JP matchup. Belikin, interesting note about SaintBelikin is he doesn't listen to any sound. He plays sound off for Clash Royale, even when playing competitive. Very interesting. And it's just that there's too much stuff happening. He said that the sound of the game is overwhelming. He hates hearing all of this, all the screaming, like the continued scream of wall breakers and all the different noises. So he decided, nope, I'm a sound off player. So interesting note about Belly. 100% of the time, sound off for SaintBelikin. Minor to the Musketeer for Belly. Smart move there by the Brit. And pressure with the wall breakers in the right-hand lane. One does connect. Doesn't force out much elixir, though. Interesting choice here to fireball the Baby Dragon over the Musketeer. But the Baby Dragon does get ahead of the Royal Giant, so you do see the value there. Oh, and the bats right into the RG. That's going to be 2 shots, I think. No, just 1. Still, the lead does almost swing to JP. Down by 5 right now on Belly. Minor in, wall breakers coming out the bridge. Bomb tower high. Skeletons catch the Minor. And JP's Minor walks back to get it. But the lead now extended here by Belikin with 1:13 left. JP sets up RG in the back, Baby Dragon high. Belly should go to the, goes to the inside here. Musketeer goes right there as well. Fireball comes out for the wall breakers. Interesting choice there. JP has to spend the -2 trade to prevent that huge amount of tower damage. Miner goes in to the outside of the tower. Second Royal Giant down. Can it get past this bomb tower in time? I believe it will. Second bomb tower does come down, though. A nice log out of JP. Wall breakers taken care of, I believe, there you go, by the Baby Dragon. He has to ignore the miner damage. If Belikin can defend here, he probably has the win. The high bomb tower going to work. And that's going to be no fireball damage on tower, but the Royal Giant does get through. Good log there from JP, 191 left. That was the big defense. Can Belikin get enough damage in time? Miner opposite direction. Miner fireball hit, and Belly was right there. He was right there and can't believe it. JP takes game number 2. We're going to game number 3. That was a fun end. That was a fun ending right there. Let's go. Liked that quite a lot. Vermin Spencer saying sound off is the Mandalorian way. Let's go take a look at the chat here for a moment as we wait for game number 3. JP has sound off during the match also, says Alexander. Interesting. Thoughts on Poison Spirit? I don't know if we need more spirits. Let's see. Daryl, I don't think you are Daryl, but okay. Yeah, guys, I see a lot of people commenting. This is so common. I see a lot of people commenting on the annoyance of card levels. If you're playing people who are higher level than you, that means that you've pushed up high on trophies. Any shift to how that matchmaking works that would factor in towers would make it so that every time that you leveled up your tower, you would immediately be like knocked down a bunch of trophies, most likely because of, and also people could kind of sandbag, and you would still have people who have like level 13 troops but a lower level tower. There's a lot of problems with trying to change the matchmaking. Long story, boring. It's based on trophies, and level up your decks. There you go. Coatbridge Paul with a little shade there. Mwah. Let's see. Any other good chats here that I should be paying attention to? I'm a Spanish viewer. I like you. Thank you, Luis Hernandez. Do certainly appreciate it. Thanks for coming back here now. Some more tea because my voice is dying. Guys, I have been killing my voice for you over the course of this tournament, and I do it happily. But in repayment, subscribe to my channel. Link in the chat. There we go. I used to play sound off, guys. I stopped when I realized how much sound helps me as a caster, and then realized how much it helps me as a player as well after I realized that I was taking so many audio cues. But I almost always play sound on. Only time I play sound off is if I'm playing and my wife is sleeping. And I'm playing as I'm getting ready to go to sleep. Is there going to be a 20-win challenge in 2021? I have no idea. Good zap there from JP, but he's forced to get the miner out. So miner loon for JP. Belly so far with the muskie. I mean, this could be graveyard. Yep, there we go. Anna Louisa, it must be very exhausting to stream every day. Yeah, that's why I only stream for tournaments like this. I'm not just a streamer. When I'm not doing tournaments like this, guys, I do general YouTube content, like video on demand content. First 2 minutes away. And SaintBelikin with the slight lead. This is an interesting matchup situation for JP because he has no great direct counter to the graveyard. He can do a pretty good job countering everything else but the graveyard. And you're seeing right there, GUI doing a ton of damage. Second Inferno Dragon down. That's a smart miner there out of JP. The question now is, can he get this balloon through? I believe he can. Balloon gets through. Fireball onto the Musketeer. Great fireball from JP. Second balloon hit. Belly cannot believe it. Down to 126. Fireball will finish it. JP is going to cycle right here. He might go miner on offense, but he has to defend against this graveyard. This is not an easy graveyard to defend against. He pulls the Barbarian back, trying to defend against this graveyard best that he can. Fireball comes in, and that's going to be the big vamos from iAmJP. Belly is beside himself. Cannot believe what just happened. Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it whatsoever. Alexander, I send the same delay. Oh, the super strong delay. I could lessen the delay here on YouTube if I wanted to, between chat and what's happening on camera. It's not that bad of a delay, but no, I don't. I could just lessen the delay here. But I'm not going to be doing Twitch and YouTube right now. Rich, can you make more shorties from this tournament? Yeah, I'll be making some more shorts for sure. Just need to get the footage for it. Hope you guys are. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. If you're here, you're enjoying it. Go ahead. First of all, we're at 298 likes. Let's get a bunch of likes right now. First of all, that was a great game. Hoping you guys are having fun here. So I see. Oh, we're almost at 299 likes, and here we go. Let's take a look at the standings right now. JP with that match win. Probably Javi can take away first place from him, but JP has guaranteed himself a way into the next round. Javi Catorze most likely has as well, but as you can see, Hugo, Matthew, and Buff all still could potentially surpass him in standing, but Javi has most likely moved all the way through. Belly and Runbar are not out yet. Neither is Omer, I don't believe. Not technically, but it's going to be a tight one. We're going to have a pretty solid race for the middle for that number 4 spot. We'll see how that one shakes out at the end, but right now, pretty solid work here for the golden-haired golden boy for Barcelona, Spain. And I asked Javi, I asked JP, one of the questions I asked him was, what do you think of that nickname, the golden-haired golden boy from Barcelona, Spain? One of the nicknames that I coined in Season 1 of Clash Royale League back when he was in CRLE with Dignitas. And he says he loves it. He said, I love the nickname, ha 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 ha. He thinks it's great. So that's one of the ones that's stuck around. Obvious, if you guys have been here before, iAmJP, certainly one of my favorite players and one of my favorite nicknames. Also, the Mad Scientist. That one stuck so hard that even SK Gaming, when they announced they were re-signing Sam for this season, used the Mad Scientist nickname. So I'm personally pretty proud of those ones. Those ones make me pretty happy. You missed the sunglasses. Oh, don't worry. The Sunnies are coming, guys. The Sunnies are going to be back today. Sonkit, you know what? Stop spamming that. I'm sorry that the people are leveled higher than you. Level up your decks. You know what I mean? Here we go. Next game for Javi against Omer. One of the things I asked Javi, and if you're tired of talking about Ruben, then sorry about this one, but I asked Javi why he thinks that he is one of the people who gives Ruben the hardest time. Of any player in CRL, historically, he's the one pro who really gives Ruben a difficult matches, has a lot of wins over Ruben. And I asked him why, and Javi said that Ruben's one of the best, if not the best, and glad to see him at this level, but that he thinks that other people kind of let him off easy because they're intimidated or because they get frustrated. And Javi just was never going to let Ruben get an easy win on him. Javi fights hard against Ruben. And that was his thought of why he's been sort of the one foil to Ruben here. Balloon in for Omer. (2006 to 2214). Hog down one more time last time. Who made the Giant Slayer name? That's me as well. Pretty much all the names. The King Killer for Razor, the Giant Slayer for Canario, Mad Scientist, The golden-haired golden boy from Barcelona, Spain. The only one that I can't take credit for is Javi 14, and that's just because that's his name in Spanish. And Andrew and I, when we were first day of CRL West back in 2019, hanging out with Manu and Koji, the casters in Spanish, they were talking about Javi, and they said Javi 14, and we were like, that's so great, and we definitely have to use that. Snowball in. Hunter nowhere near that balloon. This should be a connection, and it is. That might be tower down here. Nope, doesn't get a second connection. And that knight in front of the fisherman, in front of the hog, gonna be good. Stops the fisherman, gets 2 shots for the hog rider, plus EQ damaging. Really nasty, full push coming in. One skeleton goes back, nothing looking at that miner right now. Has to contend with both of these at the moment, and he's going to stop the balloon here from connecting. Death damage in, though. Log to work on both the hunter and the fisherman. Not going to be enough. Not going to be tower down. Omer takes game number 1 here off of Javi. GG, well played. Talking about shades. Talking about those sunnies. Ooh, look at these bad boys. Look at these bad boys. Whoa, the reflection is nutty. Is that because these lenses are a little bit scratched? Yeah, check out these bad boys, right? The flamingos. Let's go. Here's the fire stuff. Yoav likes the golden hair golden boy as his favorite of the nicknames. A lot of people liking the King Killer one. Mad Scientist, though, is I think that's the one that I think has stuck the most, and I've always loved that one in particular. But yeah, had to bust out the flamingos for this one. Boom. Look at that. Pretty cool. And the reflection looks crazy cool. Don't know what that's about. Look at that. Those reflections look nutty. Oh, you know what it is? The reflection's keying out. That's what it is. Hold on. Let me turn off the filters here for a second. Boom. There we go. The reflection was keying out because of the color of these lenses. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next game. And don't you worry, guys. We came back with the fire stuff. What do you think about players who qualified from Asia? Who surprised you? Anton, I need to watch the Asia, see the Asia results here. Another minor loon again for Omer. Yeah, Anton, don't put it in all caps, and I need to look at the results, because I have not looked at the results that much. Asim saying, man, I thought commentating was easy, but I was wrong. No, it is not easy. It's a skill I've developed for over a decade. If you do want to watch the Asian streams live, you can watch them live streamed on Cashman's channel. You can also watch the replays of those live streams here on my channel. So it's lava for Omer against Cannon Cart GY for Javi. Javi looks like an Among Us character in this outfit. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I like it. Cannon Cart to the right-hand side. And connects. And the Knight connects. Oh, boy. Omer calling the good game here. Just got completely housed in that moment. Is Belikin out? I need to look at the standings. We should get those again in a little bit. Omer sets up lava to the left-hand lane. Hunter will be pretty inconsequential on the right-hand side. He should ignore that Hunter entirely. No reason to reply to it. He'll get 1, maybe 2 shots. 2 shots in that King Tower, not much. Mortar working on the left-hand side. Bomb Tower takes care of business. Hunter cleans off the balloon. Miner comes in to go to the back rather than work on the Hunter. High Mortar is going to put pressure on that opposite tower. This could be tower down here for Omer. And probably will be tower down, yeah. Here we go. Tower's going to fall. And Omer trying to predict the cannon cart in the pocket there with the barbs. Now that barbs are out, oh, cannon cart in the back instead for Javi. You see Omer wants to play there in the middle as much as he possibly can right now. Cannon cart goes down. Not what Javi wanted. The Spaniard with the lead right now, but now that we're in a two-tower game, Omer certainly has a lot more viability. This is the best two-tower, especially crosswise tower version of Graveyard of the game, though. Good hunter, and you see, look at all that damage there from the pocket play by Javi. 571 left, Lava Hound with 2 Smelly Drags. And yes, I did say Smelly Drags on purpose. Omer going to get some decent damage here. He has to play one more really excellent defense and then find a way to get on some offense here. But he's going to need one more really excellent defense, in my opinion. Omer forcing Javi to use the fireball off tower. Smart move by him. And yeah, these balloons by Omer are smart, getting on those mortars right where they are. Balloon will not connect here. Oh, I almost did. And those skeleton dragons had to come out because he had no other option. But that gives fireball value to Javi, who goes with the mortar right here. And again, you see Omer is just trying to do anything he can to prevent cannon cart in the pocket. And the moment he sees that come down, Javi sets up cannon cart behind King Tower. Here's a balloon push on the right-hand side. This is a dangerous push. Miner goes to the balloon, though. Balloon does not escape, and that's going to be a GG. Well played. Javi takes game number 2. We're going to game number 3. I asked Javi before today's match what famous athlete or what famous person or celebrity, not a Clash Royale player, would he want for a 2v2 partner. And he said that he would love for a 2v2 partner to be Luka Modric, because he's always liked his personality and his behavior, and he's just brilliant gold. So that's who he'd want for a 2v2 partner, which is a fun answer there from Javi 14. Sam McAnich, asking what state I live in. I was in California up until a few months ago. Now I am in Texas. So there you go. GG, well played. Let's see. And let's go back to the chat here for a minute. What are some other questions here from the chat? Retro Expo saying I can probably clap these kids. Cool, Retro Expo. There's the link to CRL 2021. There's $1.6 million on the line, and it's open to anybody. So go in CRL. Do I play Among Us? I have played Among Us. I don't play it a lot. I used to play it when it got really popular for a minute. I played some, but haven't played it in a while. I have no idea if there's going to be another different tournament besides the Triple Elixir one this season. So no clue there. Who do I think the top 5 USA players are? I don't know. That's a question that needs to be answered. Not by me, though. Hey, Rich, where is Andrew? My guess is California. Probably in the Los Angeles area. Might be in Oregon, though. Who knows? It's pronounced Modric, not Modric. Okay. Oh, yeah. I get it. Yeah, Luka Modric. Let's see. We're not going to talk about how Belikin is top Triple Elixir Global Tournament. I guess we are now. So there we go. Hey, a great Lava Hound player is doing well in a Triple Elixir tournament. I am absolutely shocked by it. Does Andrew do streams casting as well? Andrew streams a lot of Valorant, but not so much of Clash Royale. Do I know any Russian words? Spasiba. Let's go into game number 3. Omer. Top of your screen, Javi 14 at the bottom. Omer has played a lot of giant skeleton decks, as we see here, and tends to play a lot of heavy elixir decks. And I asked him why he's been favoring those and if we should expect anything different in this tournament. And he said, after talking with his manager, who said that he plays too many decks that are easily countered, that have a bad matchup ratio, right? Because there are some decks where most of the matchups, the matchups end up being more in the 60-40 range. But there are some decks where they're either like 80-20 or 20-80. And I'm talking with a manager, he played too many decks that had bad counters for them. So he's decided to play decks that don't have as many hard counters and have more, if they have bad matchups, they're closer matchups. But he also plays a lot of Giant Skelly Clone in particular, which he plays a lot in league matches, but only when it fits the analysis. But that's his big reason for playing a lot of Giant Skeleton and a lot of heavier decks, is to avoid playing any decks that have true hard counters. Chris Whitthorne, this tournament has no more, the open qualifiers happened 2 weeks ago for this tournament, but there will be more tournaments like this that have open qualifiers, including CRL 2021, link in the chat. How many countries have I visited? We did the count yesterday. And guys, I'm going to remove all political chat from the chat. No political chat, guys. This is all that's being removed. No political chat, guys. We're just going to remove all of it. And if you can't abide by the rules, you'll be timed out, etc. I've never played Roblox. I know it's popular. What's my favorite animated movie of all time? That's an interesting question there, Parikshith. Let me think about that. Favorite animated movie of all time? I'm not entirely sure. $8.46 on the right-hand side. Rich, you know any Arabic words? Salam. I know that. And Hunter will be supported on the left-hand side. Good bar barrel by Javi. Doesn't quite break on through, though, but the Hunter and that spear on the left-hand side doing a lot. I do not play Roblox or any row-based or box-based game. Balloon in, mortar. I like that late mortar out of Javi. What did that? Oh, for a second there, I thought that balloon was going crazy. But the balloon, oh man, what a great. Oh, that freeze almost did it there for Omer. I play sound on for whoever was asking there. Dalton Andrews. Graveyard in. And Fireball will finish it. There you go. GG, well played. Javi takes that one. It was a difficult one, but he takes it in the end. German Morales. Rich, what is your PB? 6323. Do I watch anime? Not much, but my favorite anime is Death Note. Who do you love to team up for 2v2 from CR Pros? I think Faye. Faye's obviously Sam and Morton are great. AC and RF are great. A lot of great players, but yeah, no, Faye is the guy I would pick as my 2v2 partner because he doesn't have a partner right now. And then he could train me up. Real nice. Nice play by Javi. So we just watched Javi versus Omer. Coming up next is going to be Hugo versus Buffmac. Matthew versus Runbar took place offline, and Matthew won that one 2-0. But Hugo Buffmac should be our next one. Let's take a look at the chat here for a moment. Has anyone played Spell Cycle today? No one's played it today. Someone played it yesterday and they lost. But no one's played it yesterday or 2 days ago, and they lost. Let's see. Anything else in this chat for the moment? No, nothing critical. Guys, we're at 378 likes. Throw some likes in there. There's 1,000+ people here right now. Throw some likes in there. Let's get a little bit more love for the video. I'm here blowing my voice out for you guys. At least you can do is like the video, you know. Let's take a look at the standings here. Javi now with that win because of JP should be. Oh no, because did Javi and JP play? And did Javi beat JP? Is that what happened? Oh come on, give me the stats. Give me the standings longer than that. Let's go and jump into our next one, guys. No political chat. No political chat. None. Not allowed. You ever see Attack on Titan? Maybe a long time ago. Oh, there's the standings on the right-hand side. So Javi, I guess maybe Javi and JP played, and Javi won that one. That'd be the only reason why he'd be above JP right now. Let me double-check the schedule for that one. Hugo currently in 3rd place with 3 wins. Matthew right behind him with 3 wins. Buffmac still in the mix, and this is an important matchup for both him and Hugo. Because if Buffmac wins this one, they would both be at 3-3, but Buffmac would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So a critical one for both of these guys. How many pairs of sunglasses do I have? Tons, and more coming. The sunnies come in hard. That's what's up. Alexander Konev saying Javi's pushing the ladder hard this season, by the way. Yep. Javi has pushed ladder before. You just might not have noticed it. Let's put it that way. Guys, no political talk. None. Do I remember Mr. Belvedere? Of course I do. So, this is the Dennisito deck out of Buffmac. I think it's the Dennisito Pro deck from Sandeep. I'm glad you like the shades. Hello to India. I'm going to like the Dennisito Pro deck one more time from Buff. And Hugo going a little more traditional here. I asked Hugo what's his favorite snack when playing Clash Royale. The Frenchman said M&M's are 100% his favorite snack while playing Clash Royale. A little bit of chocolate in there. And chocolate is lightly caffeinated, so, you know, tastes good, easy to eat with your hands really quickly, and, of course, a little pick-me-up. Rexican asking, what's your favorite mobile, non-mobile game other than Clash Royale? Apex Legends. There's a little-known game called Subterfuge on mobile, which is my 2nd favorite ever mobile game. But has a very loyal and dedicated fan base, but never got super popular, because each match takes 7 to 14 days. But one of the coolest and most compelling games I've ever played on any platform. But has like a very small player base of dedicated players. Wizard of the right-hand side, met by the cannon cart. Fireball will work on that side. Hugo leading by 5 with that damage on the left-hand tower of Buffmac. Knight picks up the skeleton on the left-hand side. Cannon cart trying to slide on through, is taking for the graveyard, though. The Wizard stuck looking that way. Good fireball there from Hugo. Forces the Skarmy out on defense. High Mortar to work against the Hog Rider. Supercell games that I play include I used to play Clash of Clans, not anymore, and I occasionally play Brawl Stars. But I'm a CR guy. It's my main mobile game. Favorite character in Apex is probably Wraith, but I play a lot of Lifeline, Gibby, and Path as well. Giant Skeleton to the left-hand side, Cannon Cart to meet, final 45 seconds of regulation. Fireball gets good value for Buffmac here at the bridge. Hugo's just been in control this whole time, though. Hog comes through. Mortar will go high one more time, put more pressure on the right-hand side. Giant Skeleton to pick up that mortar. So last chance for Buffmac approaching in game number 1. But he can't outcycle this mortar. That's the big problem. Cannon Cart's going to pull the hog again. Mortar pulls the hog. Buffmac trying to put damage on tower. Can't do enough of it. Wizard not going to do much at all. And that's a GG. I understand that, especially if you want to do some different stuff, that some of these decks can be fun, right? The Denacito Pro deck, the Mohammed Parsa deck. But I feel like there's just some matchups, like if you talk about decks that have like what their matchup ratio is, those are decks that have like some nearly 100-0 matchups, or 0-100 matchups, right? Looks like, I guess Javi lost against Buff, to answer the question of whoever has been, of Ruben, who's been asking that in the chat. Guys, a lot of the questions you asked will be answered by other people in the chat, so keep an eye out there. Battle Ram, has Battle Ram even been played in the EU yet? Very little, Jax. Good point. Battle Ram, I think, has maybe appeared once or twice at some point. Vivek, I don't know what your question was, but there's 1,000 people in here plus a game happening. So if I don't get to everyone's question, sorry about that. I've seen you type. I'm scrolling backwards. I see hello a whole bunch, Vivek, but I don't see any question here. So I guess hello, was that your question? Was like hello question mark? Is that what you sent? How am I doing? I'm doing well. Giant Skeleton Hog is trash. Not necessarily, just that particular deck is kind of ugh, in my opinion. Rupen, what are you talking about? Because I don't care. I just have a lot going on, guys. Everyone takes things so personally here. There's 1,000 viewers, lots of chat. I'm casting the match, reading my notes. I can't get to every question or every comment all the time. Currently, I'm playing Minor Wall Breakers the most. Do I like the song Back to the Shack by Weezer? I have to listen to it to see if I know which song that is. I know I've heard a bunch of Weezer songs. I don't know which one that one is. And Buffmac just running it again. Interesting choice here. King Tower activation. Maybe they should reduce Giant Skeleton Bomb damage on tower. I don't think so, because it gets there so rarely. If Giant Skeleton Bomb gets on tower, it's mostly because you made a mistake. So I think actually that it's pretty much fine, in my opinion, Giant Skeleton. Thank you, Dalton, for the support. On the like, comment, subscribe. Notice Hugo playing a Fisherman in a spot that doesn't bring the Giant Skeleton right to his tower. How do I feel about the current meta? I mean, from a competitive standpoint, it's actually pretty fun. This has been one of the more interesting competitive metas in a while, I have to say. I'm excited to see when we start playing dual mode, primarily. Are you American or British? The accent isn't enough of a giveaway. All right, Rupen, no worries. I'm trying to look for this guy's question. I don't think he ever asked a question. He just got annoyed that I didn't answer a question that he didn't ask. So Vivek, ask your question again if you have a question somewhere, and I will try to answer it. I don't know why Buff is going to the same deck again. So weird. Skarmy in the middle. Good Skarmy by Buff. Great Skarmy by Buff. Giant Skeleton usage is pretty high right now, Evan, mostly because bridge fights are so important right now. There's a lot of decks that are very popular are big on bridge fights, and the Giant Skeleton is just so good in bridge fights. So if the meta moves away from bridge fights, but with, like, when you're talking about a lot of these graveyard decks right now are bridge fight graveyard decks. Electro Giant, Royal Giant, Lava Hound. So many of them, the match takes place over the river, essentially, and Giant Skeleton's so powerful there. That's why it's popular. It's not because Giant Skeleton is overpowered. No one currently plays Peck in competitive modes. I hope that in Duel we'll see more of that. Who do I think is better and competitive, Igor or Javi Catorze? Or JK? Or JK? Who's JK? When will Rich Slaton play today? Once the stream is over. To relax and have some fun. Oh, Jupiter King? Igor or Jupiter King? Yeah, that's a tough one. Let's see. Maybe sure I didn't miss Vivek's question if he tried it again. He has not tried it again. I'm offering to answer your question. You got angry at me and ran away. Come back. Come back. Hog Rider gets one more shot. Not final 75 seconds on its way. Mega Knight in front of the Hunter. Mega Knight tanking for the Graveyard. No, but gets out of range. Good placement on the Knight there by Buff. Keep an eye on that, guys. That's a great Knight placement to make sure the Mega Knight does no longer tank for the Graveyard. Smart play there. Is CRL going to be in duel mode? Yes, it is. Here's the rules for CRL 2021. Mega Knight not able to tank. Snowball to slow down the King Tower and Princess Tower shots on the Graveyard. Fireball does not get the Fisherman. So the Fisherman takes the Giant Skeleton out of play here. Second Giant Skeleton down for Buffmac. Now, Buffmac's playing this very, very well right now. Buffmac's playing a sharp game at the moment. No, JK is Jupiter King. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is for me. Graveyard trying to steal this one for Hugo. I don't think it can be done, though. And that's going to be a GG for Buffmac. We're going to game number 3. Rares asking, there are so many cards in the game. Why do we see the same decks over and over again? Well, because a lot of those cards aren't viable. Because certain decks that use cards you don't see, like there are certain decks that are stronger at the moment. And because also you see decks people are playing a lot, right? So that's the thing about it too, is there might be a deck that is viable that we're not seeing very much, but people aren't playing it a whole lot. And you don't really want to play decks you're not playing much in this type of situation, in this type of $40,000 tournament. All right, let me look at the chat here and answer some questions. Please answer, Rich. Come on, it's only your opinion. No one will take offense. So Igor or Jupiter King for me? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I think that Igor has had Igor's performed better at the biggest moments, but Jupiter King has been better and competitive in the last year. So it's like it's hard to make that call. I think that Igor did not benefit from Team Liquid struggles this season, but Jupiter King hasn't. Jupiter King's great during the regular season and then not as great at the end. So, you know, it's kind of like I'm saying, I don't really know how to pick that one. I'm not just going to pick someone so that there is a pick, right? I wouldn't pick someone just to have a pick. Let's see. Not sure I like dual mode. Not repeated cards for 4 decks is going to lead to very predictable combinations. I disagree, Adam. I think that that dual mode for players who are actually scouting their opponents will end up being really cool. And if they allow you to switch cards out of a deck, like if you don't have to pre-select your 4 decks, which currently you do have to pre-select your 4 decks, I think that is also viable as well. But I think that players who really prepare and research their opponents, dual mode is going to do a lot to reduce the randomness in this game, which is a bigger issue. And Buffmac, interesting choice here. Very interesting choice here. Let's see. Marquise saying, I'll be known in the Clash community one day. Go for it, Marquise Mitchell. I hope that you are. I hope I get to call one of your matches in the future. Let's see, trying to find some more of these comments that I didn't get a chance to answer before. I think dual mode is a great way to create more varied meta. That's the big thing, right? If you don't want to see a bunch of lava or graveyard decks back to back to back to back, there you go. I'm excited about dual mode. Good lightning there from Hugo, and that's the second opportunistic lightning for him. Buffmac with some interesting choices today. Anton, I already told you my answer to that. I'm not going to pick one of those two over the other just so there is a pick. I don't have a strong enough opinion to say one over the other. So my answer is, I honestly don't know who I think is better. Igor has been better in postseason, been a place where Jupiter King has not been good, but Jupiter King has been better in the regular season. But I've already answered that question. The entirety I'm going to answer it to. Huge connection on the right-hand side, but can Buffmac defend on the left? Log and Mega Knight needs to find some other thing to get on that. There you go, Wizard to get on the first giant, Electro Giant. And I don't know if he can stop this. Lightning comes in, gets on tower. Skarmy just for the damage, and no, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. Buffmac gets that huge damage on the right-hand side, but does not have enough to defend against the Electro Giant on the left-hand side. GG, well played. Hugo with a huge win there over Buff. Hugo's been great today. I think the plan for CRL 2021, at least during the year, is entirely to be online. I'm not sure though, and then hopefully we'll be live for World Finals. We'll see. Interesting choices there out of Buff in terms of decks. Very, very strange there. Let's see. Any other questions I should be answering here? I don't have infinite elixir mode permanently. I don't know. It is fun to play though. I do like it. Anything else here? Buffmac loves Wizard. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like dual mode a lot. I've really enjoyed dual mode a ton. But I think of people talking about a way. Personally, I would love it if dual mode just replaced all modes in the game. I would love it if dual mode was just the game mode for Clash Royale. I think it's the number one thing I hate is not being able to rematch somebody after they beat me, and I know that I'm better than they are. So 5-1 for iAmJP, both at the top right now. Hugo with that puts himself at 4-2. So Hugo does not eliminate Buffmac. That does open the door here, though. Matthew holds his fate in his hands. If Matthew wins his next matchup, he eliminates Buffmac, SaintBelikin, and Runbar. If Matthew loses, that spot comes totally up for grabs. And Matthew's win rate would drop too. So that's going to be a big one. Here's Buffmac's next matchup, and we're already into it. Buff did not wait to get started. Lava Club. Hugo is an open qualifier. Hey, thanks Fenway fellas. Good to see you. Adam Doctor saying, I don't feel like we have seen many of the same decks today with ban on loss. I feel like we have, but today has also been weird. Like, people have been playing some weird, like Buffmac's playing weird stuff today. I like ban on loss as a variant. I think it's great, but I do think that duels is cool and creates less random. The thing about duels is it lowers the randomness of matchup, which is also valuable. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 bites of Chinese food, guys. Please hold while I am off mic. And we're back. Towers down on both sides. Has there been any competitive dual play yet with the pros? Yes, Adam Doctor. You can actually watch it on this channel. I've hosted some BO5s, but also the All-Stars event back in December. So there has been competitive dual play on this channel. Let me go ahead and can actually link you the, let me go ahead and find the draft duels. Also had a lot of pros in it, but the All-Stars event was here back on this channel back in December. And I'll go ahead and get you the link for there right now. All-Stars event was duels. And there you go. There's the link to that whole playlist. That felt like a 3-byte break. Mance Raider, you might have caught me there. Dual mode also does make us see cards we don't usually see. Very great point there, Wall. I think it is the future of competitive Clash, and obviously it is because it's going to be what the CRL mode is. Lava Hound on tower, Hunter working on the lava. Mega Knight goes coast to coast on that one. Bit of an unfortunate turn of events there for Buff. Skarmy, not the thing you want for a Mega Knight necessarily. But able to hold off that damage, and now a huge push opposite direction. Does Buff have clone again? I think he's going to clone right around here. Second Lava Hound comes in. He has to play some defense. And there comes the clone. And that should be enough for the GG here. There we go. Snowball comes in. They get finished off. Buffmac staying alive here against Runbar. Let's see, Dalton Andrews had a great question. Why do you think different regions have different metas? Interesting question there, Dalton Andrews. I think it's just you kind of, trends happen. It's the same reason why different things get popular in different areas, right? When anything it's popular. It's how does it trend, right? So maybe you have in the competitive, like Japanese scene, one player starts playing some deck or starts like putting in a card. For example, the big example would be yes, in French instead of saying Hugo, you say Ugo. I am familiar, John. I've seen that comment, and I've even commented on it. There we go. So like for example, in CRL in the East, you saw players running a lot of in 2v2 instead of running Lumberjack, they ran the Rage spell. And I think it's just, one person tries it, it works, and it catches on in that area. That's kind of why I think there's different Buffmacs for different regions. I mean, different Buffmacs, different different metas for different regions. I read the word Buffmac on my screen as I was saying that. All right. Well, are there different Buffmacs for different regions too? Why did CRL East have their own stage, CRL West didn't? Because the CRL East already had a production studio set up in China, and before everything got locked down, and the Chinese teams were able to go there and participate. So there were already, two reasons. One, there were already a production studio set up in China, and there were already a bunch of teams that were in China and able to be there. Because CRL West is so international, most of the players couldn't travel to the US to come be here. And we had switched productions between 2019 and 2020, so we didn't already have a studio built. So those are the two reasons. Who do I think deserved Worlds more, SK or Queso? Well, Queso won, so they deserved it. There you go. Morton's at 35-2 right now in the global tournament. That's insanity. He's pretty good. You should consider playing professionally. So loser here is officially eliminated from competition. That's the big thing about this matchup between Buff and Runbär. Winner stays in and has to watch and see if Matthew loses. I think Runbär probably doesn't have a chance to make the top 4, but who knows? Buffmac has a much better chance of surpassing Matthew in the event that Matthew loses. Rich, try to eat some maple syrup at the same time. Weird request. Greens from Brazil. Hey, Slim. Your fiance's asking which TV show you're watching now. I'm watching The Blacklist right now. I am watching The Blacklist. What do I like more, fast cycle or slow? Fast. It's more fun to watch, more fun to cast, more fun to play. Even though probably easier to play slower decks in some ways, I prefer playing quicker decks. Man, Buffmac is just on one today. Just kind of a classic Golem Night Witch here. From Beefy Beef. Lumber Loon push left-hand side. And that should be some decent damage here. This was a miscalculation by Buff, in my opinion. Pretty big miscalculation, in fact. Maybe he can put enough damage. I could be wrong. That could be wrong. That Lumberjack might do it. That Lumberjack might be the one. Yeah, I was wrong. Maybe not. Can that cannon cart connect? Defensive freeze comes out. Is the cannon cart in range for a shot? And it is. Oh, what a crazy, crazy ending to that game. What a crazy ending to that game. I thought that Buff was throwing, and then somehow he gets it. James Spader is great. One-dimensional, perhaps? Excuse me. James Spader, one-dimensional? Have you ever seen Stargate? Or how about Pretty in Pink? James Spader, we're not even gonna celebrate with Buff. We can't even celebrate Buffmac right now. James Spader, one-dimensional. What are you talking about? I just can't. Sandeep. Yeah, I've seen your question a few times. People want that. I don't know. You don't know why someone left the game. So it'd be nice if they time someone out of 2v2 for doing that. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Is if you do that, you get like a timer where you can't play 2v2 again for X number of minutes. But yeah. More importantly here is the great James Spader being insulted here. That's way more important. I can't even believe it. Hey, well done, Anton, with your commentary here on Buff and Tom, and your English is doing pretty well, for sure. What if Belly wins? Does Buffmac get eliminated? I'm not entirely sure. Because here's the thing. So here's the issue, right? Head-to-head is the first tiebreaker, but only if there are 2 players tied with the same record. If there's 3 or more, then it gets very different. Wait. Spader Spader's very different in Stargate than he is in the Blacklist. What are you talking about? Those shades are dope. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Hasham. Man, Christopher Walken. I don't enjoy watching Christopher Walken at all. But Spader, man. Rich, favorite comedian right now, like recently, Kurt Metzger. Yeah, Kurt Metzger's great right now. Ari's been great as of late. Ari Shafir. Mark Norman is really good at the moment. A friend of mine, Rick Wood, recently released a very, very cool album. Let me see if I can find a link to his album. Let me see where he actually has it up. where you can get it. 1 second. Where did you put your album out, Rick? There's your bio, there's your shows, there's your news. Who cares about news? There you go, Rick Wood comedy album. See if I can find it. As above, so below. There it is. Here you go. This is my friend Rick. He's very funny. He and I used to do the road a bunch together, and this is get this if you want, if you have like some time to listen to like a really cool album overall. Kind of bootlegged it, this one from Rick. I would check it out. So here we go, Belly and Omer. As you can see, Belly needs this one to stay in the mix. Do I play hockey? I used to play roller hockey as a kid. Not so much anymore. I need a massive CRL good chain. Good question. Let's see. Other questions here. In-N-Out's way better than Whataburger? Maybe. Some guy named Boom is asking something. What's Boom? What does Boom want? I'm trying to check out. Why are you not showing the decks being used after each match? Because I'm not in charge of that. That's a good answer. Thank you, chat, for answering that. Robert California equals Raymond Reddington, but only Spader could play either. Good point. But what about his character in Stargate? Yeah, watch Stargate, dude. Oh, you never watched one of the all-time greatest science fiction movies? Get on your horse there, Mance. Here we go. Royal Giant to the left-hand lane. Do I think Igor will beat Mugi next week in the Bren Chong Cup Asia? In the I don't know, maybe. RG does not connect on the left-hand side. Double cannon cart. Yeah, Giant Skeleton is just so good at controlling the bridge fight, but Belly's been winning it. To get in the mood, like I said before, Belly does not play with sound on or with music on. No sound at all when he plays, but he does kind of warm up to music. The albums he's listening to right now are Very Good Bad Thing by Mother Mother and The Raven Locks, Act 3 by Dirt Poor Robins. The two albums that Belly is currently listening to as he gets warmed up for his Clash Royale matches. $455 on the left, 458 on the right. Belly is firmly in control. Sounds like the warm-up music working out pretty well for him here. Wall breakers do not connect. It's so funny. Before the match today, Belly telling me he wasn't going to play much in the way of minor wall breakers because of the bad matchups for them. And then we've seen him play them a bunch today. Parikh Sheath asking, wait, how do you even know that? Because I sent questions to the players before the match because I care about this broadcast, guys. There's all this information that I have. What do you think? It just comes out of nowhere? I prepare for my job. There you go. If I were Eric Benamoon, your main-headed star, Igor doesn't even speak English, close to fluent, how did you communicate? Well, I don't know how they did it, but I know when La Picati joined Space Station, then Immortals. And here we go. Again, keep an eye on this one. And all this is happening. You know, Belly winning, Buffmac winning. If Belly does beat Omer here. Omer and Runbar both eliminated. Belly and Buffmac can both get their wins and get to 3 and 4. And then it all comes down to whether or not Matthew wins his match. If Matthew wins his match, he's guaranteed in, and he eliminates both Buffmac and Belly. If he loses, he opens the door. And probably opens the door primarily to Buffmac, although I don't know who won. Man, this is going to get crazy here. So I know that I don't know what happens with Igor. but I know that when Lapacati joined Immortals, he spoke 0 English, and they asked him what he wanted to eat by showing him pictures of food from menus. So that's all I got. That's all I got for you. Other than that, I don't know. Let's see. Just to be clear, original Star Wars trilogy is the best. Want to marry R2-D2 when I was younger. Still would. I get you on that, Sakina Fusby. I believe that's the best Star Wars trilogy by far. I don't think it's even really a discussion that I thought the other two could be as good as a full trilogy. EK, you're the best, Rich. Thank you, EK. Do appreciate that. Boeuf is a French word that means beef. Yeah. Do I think Igor will beat Mugi in the Bren Chong Cup? Well, I don't know. Maybe. I think Mugi might be more motivated right now than Igor, and that's an important issue. Zigzag saying 8-Bit Smoke is underrated. Didn't he go 0-7 in the tournament? Not to throw shade, but couldn't they just use Google Translate? Possibly. So Belly needs to win this to stay in it. What I don't remember is what happened in the matchup between Boeuf and Matthew. That's a big, big question here. Let me go ahead and take a look at that and see what happened between Boeuf and Matthew. We are on day 8 of EU. Trying to find the Boeuf and Matthew matchup. When did that happen? Oh, did that happen? That must have happened on day 4. Let me go check that one. Matthew beat Buffmac. So this is fascinating. Okay. If SaintBelikin loses this match, Matthew is, I believe, is guaranteed to be in 4th place because he has the head-to-head tiebreaker over Buffmac. If Belikin wins this match and Matthew loses his, Buffmac, I believe, would go above Matthew because if there's a 3-way tie, it goes to win rate. Don't quote me on any of this, but I believe that's the case. If Belly loses this match, he and Buffmac are both out. If he wins this match, he puts Buffmac potentially in over Matthew if Matthew loses. Bananas. Absolutely bananas. Ryan Newton, Google Translate sucks. I always got marked down on my Spanish homework when using it. No, if Belly loses this game right here and Matthew loses, Belly does not necessarily qualify, Mark. Because if you have a 3-way tie in rankings, head-to-head is not the deciding factor. I don't believe. I believe that the deciding factor there is win rate. And Belly's win rate, I don't think, can surpass Matthew's. If I were a Supercell developer, which cards would you buff and nerf? I would just vault. I would vault Barb Hut and Battle Healer. That's what I would do. But Belly will be in front of Boeuf. Not on win rates, though, I don't think. I don't think so. Gotta double check that. Again, there's a lot of math that has to be done. Final 2 minutes, sudden death, overtime, pretty even in damage, although this Graveyard Poison getting some extra. So Belly's out no matter what. You know, I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. If Belly loses, he and Buffmac are both out for sure, though. If Belly wins, it gets kind of crazy. Oh, and that's 173 on the right-hand side. This should be it. Belikin should be able to win this one right here in the 2-0. What I don't know is if he would pass over Buffmac if Matthew loses. Still, all this comes down to whether or not Matthew wins. Well, winning this game, Mark, would not guarantee him a qualifier because Matthew could still finish 4-3. If Matthew finishes 4-3, then Belly and Buffmac are both out. This is a crazy day. This is a crazy day. And we still have to decide who gets first place here, which is also nutty because Javi and JP both 5-1 right now. Whew, whew. This is another crazy end, guys. So if Belly wins 2-0, which he did, his difference will be 0, and Matthew loses, he'll be whatever. So then Belly and Buff would both have a 0 differential, call because he beat Buff. I'm not entirely sure that's how the tiebreakers work, though. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how the tiebreakers work. This got all we might not know our 4th qualifier at the end of the day. I'm gonna message the league ops. Ask them if they're working on the qualifier scenarios. Bracket tourneys for the win, says Mance Raider. Yeah, well, group stage is a good way to decide who gets into the bracket tourney, you know? So, when is Javi Catorze playing? In 2 matches. Up next is iAmJP versus Matthew. The most important one of the day, because if Matthew wins, he's in. If he loses, who knows what happens? And then Javi versus Hugo was the last match of the day. So there you go. Who would win, Fat Cat or Moogie? I don't know. Probably Moogie. Probably Moogie. Probably Moogie is my guess there. You will see. If Matthew loses, Belly quals. Okay. We'll find out. We will discover that. That will happen right here on Rich Slaton. That's just the whole name of my channel. On youtube.com/Rich Slaton, the best place, the most fun place for Clash Royale esports. Here we go. This is the critical one. Can Matthew's nerves hold up here against iAmJP in a match that Matthew said would be his most difficult match on the day? Can he win the most stressful, the most difficult match of the day with everything on the line at the same time? Moogie beat Igor 2-1 today in a close 3rd match. Cool. Hello from the Iranian people. Hello, Saman. If Matthew wins, he qualifies. Yeah, we know that. If he loses, it will go to... What is it? Oh, to differential. It must be differential. Let me ask. I'm asking right now. I'm doing some confirmations here. JP wants that #1 seed, that's for sure. Are we to almost 500 likes? Guys, we are at 464 likes. 466. We are 34 away from 500. Let's go ahead and hit that. Let's make it happen. I'm asking League Ops to figure out what happens if Matthew loses. 475 likes. So close. 490. Here we go. DC the Boss saying, Rich, thoughts on this? It's on another channel that after a heated match with the winner will hop on Discord call for a quick 2-minute interview. That would be sick with this. Yeah. I mean, except for we go from match to match so quickly. Wait, isn't if there's 66 likes, isn't it 34 to get there? Did I just do some bad short math? All right, so the League Ops is saying if Matthew loses, Belly qualifies. If he wins, he makes it. So there you go. Whoever was yelling at us about that beforehand, yes, if Matthew loses, Belly qualifies. He would hop over Buff. JP's been loving this RG Miner deck today. Mega Knight goes over to the RG side. And the entire counter push goes into the strong side rather than the weak side. Alexander Konev saying JP turned off the cam for some reason. Who cares? He already guaranteed himself the #1 position. Or he already guaranteed himself qualification. He's 5-1. There's nothing nefarious happening here, Alexander. Is Buffmac out? Apparently Buffmac is out. Apparently Buffmac has been eliminated. Oh boy. Graveyard working. JP has to get this tower down before a poison comes in. Can he do it? Can JP get past this cage here? RG gets on tower, and he does it! 96 HP left. 96 HP left. And JP takes the first win, trying to get Belly into the next round, I think so. Tesfaye, why are you... What? Let's finish... Why are you advertising channels on other channels here? Let's see. Oh, let's see. So here's how it would happen. If Matthew wins, he makes it in. If Matthew loses, Belly and Buff both have a better win rate than Matthew, but they're tied in win rate. And at that point, head-to-head would come between them, and then Belly beat Buff. There you go. That's why why Belly would be in. Who's coming up? Coming in my chat and talking about someone else being live? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Guys, speaking of other people who go live sometimes, Cashman, the live streamer for Asia and LATAM regions. And of course, the replay is available right here on my channel. Make sure you stick around. Make sure you sub. OJ is live. Thank you, Mason. Thank you, Mason. Your glasses reflect the background. Yeah, although it's all kind of like messed up, so it's even cooler. Let's go ahead, jump into game number 2. Matthew fighting for his life. JP with a chance to end Matthew's tournament run. You know, JP's style has been described by me in particular as high risk, high reward. And I asked him if he agrees with that description and how he described his own style, and he says, his response is, I believe a lot in karma. If you always try your best, you will always have your reward. It's my lifestyle. So, interesting kind of juke around the question there to a certain degree, but I guess that he's more thinking that if you put in your best, karma will reward you, so why not go with the high-risk plays? Miner into the right-hand side. Mega Minion in response. And JP going Pompeo style, says so pro bro, yep. Hey, shout out to Cashman, sounds like a cool dude, yeah. Boom, hit that Cashman live link. Twitch chat, bruh. Get in there. Swimmer with the OP Burrito Man live. There we go. And guys, Cash has been... Go follow Cash on Twitch for sure. Not only is he streaming these lives, but he's been generous enough to let us put the replays here on my channel for those of you who don't go to Twitch. Zigzag. I heard that CWA watches your streams sometimes. Yeah, CWA stops in here and there. He's crazy busy. But especially for these big pro events, he stops in on occasion. Probably see him more when we get into the later rounds here. Oh, and the balloon's going to go past... Oh, no, it doesn't. I thought the balloon was going to go past the cage because of the Mega Minion. I thought JP was going to get that slide on. Instead, I don't know if he missed the move or if it was the Inferno Dragon bumped it back into the cage room. Either way, does not get the move. A lot of these players, someone asked if JP speaks English. I don't know how good his spoken English is, but all these players are able to write it better than they speak it. Sin Woong, a.k.a. Expo Master, for example. His written English is actually pretty good. Do I think Boeufmac watches as well? Never spoken to Mole. I don't know what I don't know what he's doing. But I speak to CWA pretty regularly. 377 left-hand lane. Do or die for Matthew right here, right now. The miner is going crazy on the left. High cage. Matthew basically ignoring the miner. Well, Fireball's going to finish it off. Matthew doesn't even need the Fireball. JP puts Matthew out. JP sends Matthew packing, which means Buffmac is in. What a crazy, crazy finish to the day. We still have one more match here to decide who's going to be first place. But JP sends Matthew out. Matthew had one BO3 to stay in the match and couldn't get it. Oh well. Bren Chong Cup Asia Day was Bananas must-watch match between Mugi and Debu. Cool. Man, big one there for JP, who ends the day, ends the round at 6-1 in group stage play. And now the question is who will end up on top of the standings at the end. Will it be Javi or will it be JP? Javi has a chance to be number one in the group. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Belly is in. Did I say Buff? Sorry, I've been casting a lot of Clash Royale the last couple of days. Chris Morello, yeah, the Fountain of Youth. Yeah, I'm 104 years old, and that Fountain of Youth keeps me looking fresh. Here we go, looking at the standings. And these will be the final standings for who qualifies. Belly, Hugo, Javi, and JP. And look at that, Belly. I don't know if he's the first negative win rate player to make it in, or negative match play player, but at 3-4, SaintBelikin makes it into the tournament and moves on to the next stage by a hair. And now the question is whether Javi will take the number one spot in the group stage or whether it will stay with iAmJP. Bruh, you don't know what this is, bruh? Bruh, this is the Bren Chong Cup. Bruh, it's 40,000 bruh dollars. Or regular dollars. $40,000 prize pool. That's what it is. Cashman, do I have a nickname at all? On all your socials, you go by Rich Slaton. I mean, yeah, I have nicknames. But, like, I never, like, made a gamer name. So when, long story boring, when I came in, when I started with CRL, they were like, what name, like, there was a debate of whether we go by our real names or by, like, our pseudonyms. And at the time, Paul Toddkill was my co-host, but his gamer name is Inverum, and that's what he casts under. And he's like, you guys should list me as Inverum, because that's how everyone knows me. So I even think that his lower third, his nameplate on streams, on CRL streams, said Paul Inverum Toddkill. But I've never, like, operated, I've never been professionally under a pseudonym, right? It was never like, is this thing on? Like, I didn't have a gamer ID that I created content on or whatever. I've been in the public eye for over a decade, and as a mixed martial arts caster, as a comedian, as whatever, it was always just Rich Slaton. And when they asked me that, I was like, no. My name's Rich Slaton, and that's what I cast. That's what I commentate on. That's my professional name. So, you know, I never did any sort of, like, gamer pseudonym type thing. Never been my thing. So there you go. Yes, Mark, we know you were right. We've already mentioned it. Who's Bren Chong? He's a guy who funds the prize pool. He's a person. He's a human being. Rich, what's better, disc golf or discus? Disc golf, by far. Adam Doctor, I know Enchantment's casting something right now. I don't know what it is, though. Cade, I'm trying to learn some stats. Let's see some gameplay. Well, we're to the final match of the day, Cade. You just got here. And I'm not in charge of the broadcast. I'm just casting. There's a production company that is running everything. You and Joe Rogan are quite similar, actually. Yeah, I guess. I was a mixed martial arts commentator. I've been doing stand-up since 2008, etc., etc. All right, Javi with a chance here to take the overall match win. Hugo, a win here would actually bump him up into second place in the group. So interesting. If Javi wins, Hugo stays in third place, and Javi goes up to first place. If Hugo wins, he leapsfrog. He and Hagi switch places. Javi goes down to second. Javi goes to third. He goes to second. Yeah, my in-game name is this thing on? Actually, as far as podcasts go, guys, I actually went and cleaned up the YouTube for it. I don't know if you listen to podcasts on the Podcast app or if you listen to it on YouTube or how you do your podcasts. But I went and cleaned up the YouTube account for my former podcast. 85 or so episodes of... Wait, this shouldn't have any of those uploads. 1 second here. One moment here. Because none of those should even be up here. Didn't I delete all of those? Anyway, here's the podcast. It's called Crime. If you want to hear something else I did, there you go. Hey Dalton, happy to help out your 4-hour your 4-hour drive. 4-hour drive of listening to. I don't have a podcast anymore. I might have one again in the future, but I just linked the link to my former podcast called Crime. That was a bunch of comedians making fun of true crime stories. There are 86 episodes of the official podcast. The ones that say Fantasy House are not mine. There's something else. If you want to see something else that I did, there you go. And Verum commentates on PUBG Mobile. Okay. He was mostly a like an HOK. He was mostly like a MOBA guy. Like AOV was his big game when we were working together. Why podcast defunct? Because it took about 15 hours to 20 hours a week to produce. Miner wall breakers into the right-hand side. Hunter turns to the miner. Oh, boy. Good big connection there for Hugo. Sakina Fuzzby, all good attempts. All good attempts there. Miner does go to the back one more time. Hunter does not get the miner pickup here for Javi. Should be a pretty easy game number 1 here for Hugo. Having the ability to control the bridge fight with the bomb tower and the knight, the ability to cycle through with spears and bats to deal with the graveyard pushes. Just a really difficult matchup here for Javi. Really solid matchup here for Hugo. Who's my favorite Pokemon? Probably Charizard. I'm old school like that. GG, well played. Hugo takes game number 1. Gino. Hey, what's up, Gino? How are you? You should do some COD Mobile casting. I don't really play COD Mobile. I used to play it a little bit when it first came out, but not super duper into it. Maybe I should try it out again. Mark, you recorded your first podcast episode on Friday. Cool. Guys, if you want a good episode of my old podcast to start with, here's a great episode to start with. The Prize Faker, featuring oh, why did that go to 108? No, sorry, don't take that link. Let me remove that link, because that link has a timestamp on it. Here you go. Here's an episode to start with of the podcast, if the old podcast, if you want to check it out. Again, there's no new episodes. We stopped it a couple years ago. We stopped it around the time that CRL started, essentially. But yeah, it's a fun one. And if you're into true crime and into comedians telling dirty stories and dirty jokes, then there you go. Yeah, Alexander Konov, we saw that earlier, and Morton's still pretty good at this stuff. Bomb tower is broken. I don't know if I call it broken. It's just so good. It's the right building in the meta, right? Like, is it over? No, we have at least one more game. Long stream, says Ryan. Oh yeah. Yeah, we do about 3 hours every day here for this event. And the best way to pay me back, guys, is to be here, but also subscribe to the channel. Subs and likes are super helpful. Do really appreciate it as much as possible. Can't believe Mahomes is out. Oh, was that the result of the Chiefs lose today? Not following football at all this season. Here we go, game number 2. Hugo up 1. Again, if Hugo wins, he goes to second place in the group, and Javi drops to third place. If Javi wins, he gets first place in the group. Those are the whatchamacallit, the stakes on the day. First minute away, no significant damage either way. Bright and excited for NA tomorrow, a lot of us are. And Javi picks up the mortar aggro with the miner. Graveyard push in, fireball on the Skeleton Dragon. This should be a lot of damage in favor of Hugo, even with the zap coming in. Hugo takes a huge lead early in this one. A huge lead early. Lava Hound to the right-hand side. Cannon Cart immediate opposite lane. And Javi has to eat that and go for a tower trade here. So this is it. Javi has to get some significant damage here to have any real hope. Arrows all that off. And the balloon behind here, this is actually looking pretty good right now. Mortar high for Hugo. But a great fireball out of the Frenchman. And that should be a GG. That should be a pretty nice GG here. Hugo. Man. Great performance here by the young French player. Really, really impressive. He said that this would be the most difficult matchup of his day against Javi. Came out and performed at the top of his game. He said the day that he thought he'd play some mortar graveyard. I asked him if he had a best of one for $1 million, what would he play? And he said this deck right here. And it wasn't $1 million. In fact, qualification not on the line. But Hugo moves up into second place over Javi Catorze, playing his $1 million deck. GG, well played. And that's the end of the day here. We'll have the final standings in just a moment for you to look at one more time, but Hugo with an excellent performance all around in this tournament. Very, very nicely played. Very nicely played. Bobo, I disagree with your opinion entirely. Let's see. Javi got hard countered, says Mancerator. Yeah, that was a rough matchup for sure. What happened with the Fnatic TL, Team Liquid, and Sierra West playoffs? I don't remember. What's your favorite card for this meta? My favorite card at all times is Ice Golem. Doesn't matter what meta. My perennial favorite card right there, the Ice Golem. Let's see. So pumped for NA, says Brighton. Yep, excited to see you jump in there, buddy. Let's see what else. Hugo is pretty good. Yeah, bienvenue, Hugo, to the upper echelon of Clash Royale competitive play. You see the bienvenue? You see that? You see that? Je voudrais ouf de mayonnaise? Let's go. I'm gonna say Ice Golem. In this meta though, I'm playing Wall Breakers a lot though. They're fun. I don't know if they're the best, but they're my favorite right now. Let's see other good questions. Snowden says hello Snowden. Thanks for the documents, I guess. And any other things we need to address here as we wait for the final standings of the day. We hit 659 likes, guys. That popped off real quick. Tomorrow, new stream. Yes, tomorrow starts both the Latin American and the North American regions. For Latin America, follow Cashman. That's actually later in the day. No more early mornings for Cashman. Congrats, Cash, on that one. For NA, which starts tomorrow, we start 1 hour earlier. North American action starts right here at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 8 p.m. Central European time. So we start 1 hour earlier for our NA action. So make sure that you're here earlier tomorrow if you want to catch the entire thing live. Otherwise, it'll be available on replay here, just like the Asia and LATAM replays will be available here as well, a little bit after they appear on Cashman's channel. So we're waiting for our final standings in just a moment. Let's see if they do fly those in. We'll do one last look at the final standings, then we'll get the heck out of here and move on to move on with our lives, guys, to whatever's next for each and every one of you. Let's see. Line, Jupiter King, and Draw all qualified, says Swimmer. Nice. Excited to see Boss tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So here's what we have in store for us tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day of North American action. Tomorrow, Group A action, Mini Minter, Sweep, Colton, No Candy, Only Wi-Fi, Latak, Modaz Light, Borlax, and Stephen G. Boss will be appearing in Group C, which is on Wednesday. So Boss not appearing today. For those of you who wanted to see him, he's in Group C on Wednesday. Brighton, who's been in the chat, will be in Group B, which is on Tuesday, alongside Bag as well. And the return of C. McHugh, which we're all really excited about. But yeah, tomorrow, Mini Minter, Sweep, Colton, No Candy, Latak, Modaz Light, Borlax, and Stephen G. Here we go, looking at the final standings from this group. And that's going to be iAmJP in number 1. Hugo does move up into spot number 2 with his win over Javi. Javi Catorze comes in at number 3, and Belly squeaks into that number 4 spot. And despite all the talk about the Germans today, all 3 German Open qualifiers from this group out at the group stage. Matthew, Runbar, and Omer all out, along with Buffmac. So there you go. That's the elimination for this one. Those top 4 will be moving on. Speaking of people who are still in the tournament, tomorrow also, as I said before, Cashman will be casting LATAM starting tomorrow afternoon, later than this broadcast. And the Group A for Latin America starting tomorrow will be Anaban, Cody Go, Lich Penakil, Yafo, Anton, Thiago, Henankava, and Lince. So that's your Group A for Latin America starting tomorrow. That's going to be it for today, folks. I hope you had a good time here. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I most certainly did. And I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow with more Bren Chong Cup 2 action. Before you go, make sure you subscribe, like the video, ring the bell, etc., and meet back here tomorrow for the first day of North America in the Bren Chong Cup 2. I'm Rich Slaton, and this is the most fun place for Clash Royale esports. Mwah. Peace.